Hey, this is Max, and welcome to the Ronin System podcast. We're back again with another Battle Buddies. This time we're battling COVID-19, the Kung Flu. Brought the guys back on. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Start with Ahmed.
Hey, it's Ahmed.
Yeah, everyone knows Ahmed. All right, Edgar.
I've been here before.
It's Edgar. It's my second time on the podcast.
And we got Shama over here, the
Off
murderer.
camera, off-site.
He's gonna be our Jamie for today.
Fact checking.
There you
Because
go.
he's homeless, so he's out. All right, so Ahmed wanted to start this off, right?
Did I?
You wanted to talk about
Well, COVID-19.
the Kung Flu. We're gonna call it Kung Flu. Okay?
So let's the first thing I'll say this is, man, I feel like I did not expect my life to be and maybe you feel like this is what, or you probably don't feel the same way I do about it, but maybe Edgar does. I think that I didn't know my life sports was that important to it
Yeah.
till this shit happened.
Yeah.
Holy crap, what do I watch and what do I talk about, in general with a lot of people? There's a lot. I mean, sports kind of almost is a filler for conversation for a lot of folks that you may not be that close with or have other things in common with. So sports can kind of draw the, break down. It can kind of break the ice, but for me, like if you don't do jiu-jitsu, I probably don't have a lot of shit to talk to you about in general. Usually.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's the same way. I also think because especially with like the big four sports,
Yeah.
like especially here, like baseball, basketball, football, and hockey,
Yep.
none of those are active right now. And those are really kind of the major escapes for people.
Yep.
So now, especially with like the whole quarantine situation, everyone's got to go home.
Yep.
Normally you'd be like, oh, let me just watch sports or let me do hobbies. But then you can't do any of that. And so it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's like, because like there's like a lot of talk about like society collapsing.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the true definition of society collapsing, because it's like everyone's stuck at home and like they can't really do anything about it,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
play video games. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah,
So,
but you've been doing that before, right?
yeah. But,
Yeah.
it's just,
Living that quarantine life.
Hey,
yeah, exactly,
I'm living my life like Max. Well, yeah, I can see that it definitely affects other people, probably more so than me. I don't like going to sporting events, so
Yeah, I can attest to that.
yeah.
100%.
I feel like you've been to the most, Edgar.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say so. Yeah.
I've been to
Well,
one basketball game and one football game in my entire life.
I used to
And-
go to a lot of baseball games.
that's it.
But not anymore. Recently, probably Edgar for sure.
I've gone to a lot of Knights games, Panthers games, Bobcats now, Hornets games. So
Yeah.
both of those. Yeah. And Checkers games.
I've been to
Getting
Checkers
into the
games.
hockey
Checkers
game.
games are fun.
Yeah. Well, prior to the virus.
See, like you even go to like the semi-pro guys. So,
Yeah.
like, that's just crazy. Shema, you go to any of those? No one can hear you, but you go to any of those events?
No, I haven't. Last time I went to a basketball game, I don't keep up to date.
He's never been to a basketball game. That's what he's trying to say.
But
But I agree with you. Like right now, we would be either texting about the NCAA bracket, or hey, did you bust your bracket already, or what's going on, or
Yeah.
what Cinderella stories, who won at the buzzer beater, looking at buzzer beater highlights,
or Braun.
and none of that is.
I'd be looking at MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so MMA, the only one that's really kind of going on is UFC. They're doing it.
Nah, they canceled them all.
Huh?
There was supposed to be one yesterday.
I thought they're not doing them behind
Nah,
closed
they
doors.
can't because Vegas said they're banning all events of 50 plus throughout the entire United States.
And you can't
And now it's
run
10
that
plus,
without-
right?
Without the other people.
Right.
It's like 10 plus now.
Yeah, it's 10
can't,
plus now.
can't go over
Yeah.
10 people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they canceled because I was hyped for this year. They had events all the way up until like June. Every single week, every single weekend, they had events.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to do the. Did they book it and then it canceled right after that? The Durini and Woodley fight. They said
Yeah.
Durini and Woodley were going to fight.
Oh, that got booked?
they right at Woodley would need an opponent for some reason. I don't-
Oh,
Yeah. So originally, it was supposed to be Tyron Woodley versus Leon Edwards in
Oh,
London.
really?
In London, and then London had the travel ban, so they closed it off. And then they were like, "Hey, I know it's like 2 days away, but Leon, can you make it here to the U.S.?" And he's like,
Nope.
Fuck no.
And so then Dorino was like, "Yo, I just knocked this dude out, Jamie and Maya. I'm ready to go again. What's up?"
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Dorino, Colby. Colby said he wanted to fight
Yeah.
Tyron first, and then Tyron agreed to that. But then for some reason Colby pulled out, and then
Somebody pulled up Colby.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rafael dos Anjos came in too. He's like, I'll fight anyone.
Yeah.
Dorino have been calling everybody out, like including heavyweights.
I mean,
Just
he's,
for fun.
he's
Yeah.
fucking around. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only caveat with that is he's been knocking dudes out. So
Yeah.
I mean, go
Yeah,
ahead.
he's
do your
actually
thing,
winning.
You know.
Yeah.
Versus when's the last time Dos Anjos fought?
Did you watch that Damian Maya Dorino fight?
I mean, I saw the highlight, which pretty much is the whole fight.
I mean,
I was surprised
that left was crisp.
So Maya's jiu-jitsu game in MMA is superior to Dorino's. Did you watch that fight?
yeah, but
Dorino was good enough to escape a lot.
Yeah.
He escaped his back. Like he took his back and Dorino escaped.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that in my in UFC.
I mean, Jorge held him off, but the difference is, Jorge is not known for his jiu-jitsu.
Right.
But like the thing is, even if Dorino did knock him out, it would have been a loss. Like,
Yeah.
because his jiu-jitsu is good enough to be like, you can't do shit to me,
Right.
and his striking is good enough to be like, I have the major advantage in this situation, which he did.
But
Obviously.
Dorino did attack with a couple of leg locks. And then when they were on the ground, but then at some point, I don't remember. But Dorino looked like he was going to take his back, and then he lost his back, and then Maya took his back, and they got it. Whatever, they scrambled, they got up, and it was one left hook, and he was out.
Yeah. Did you watch the Charles Oliveira fight?
I did.
Did you watch that one,
No.
Edgar? Man,
I did see the finish.
that
but-
was
was a good
clean.
Yeah.
That was a
clean.
good fight.
I did see how Kevin Lee tried to get up and take him down after he already had joked that. I was like, come on, guy.
Someone said he was out
Oh,
because like that instinctual. Like,
so
tap.
did the referee call it because he tapped? Or
He
because
no,
he
he
was out, like,
clearly
went
tapped.
limp?
He clearly
It was
tapped.
clearly a tap.
But like then
Clearly.
immediately he tried to keep
okay.
going.
So in between tapping and letting go is when the blood stopped circulating to his brain. So he went out, and then as he was getting up, it was like,
I mean, it wasn't like it was instantaneous. As soon as he let go, he kept on attacking him.
Yeah, but it's the same thing with Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler went out.
I don't buy
Yeah.
this. I don't buy this bullshit. From
The bulldog choke?
UFC fighters.
Yeah.
I feel
what?
like they're cheating. I feel like they knew exactly what they're doing, and they're trying to game it. I don't.
Well, I mean, have you ever been choked out?
Yeah.
Like out?
out.
But have you ever had that like snap out?
Like snap and then come right back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's one of those things because they're fighters. That's their living. That's what they do
Yeah.
for a living.
I'm not saying that they're. I'm not faulting them for him, but
Yeah,
I feel like he knew he tapped.
Yeah.
There was it was
For Kevin Lee, I agree. I think he tapped. I think he knew he tapped, but then I also believe that he forgot in the moment. But then I don't know. I know for a fact Robbie probably he's just like, oh, I probably went out.
Yeah, just from seeing his hand go from like fighting to whoop, just
Yeah,
totally
he was,
limp.
He was out.
I was like, dude, you were out. Even if it was a flash out, you were out. Like if he held on any longer, then you'd have just been a limp noodle on the mat.
Man, that fight should have been ended way earlier though. When Robbie took him down, when he started mauling on him.
Oh yeah,
Because Askren is out. Ben was
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like that's clearly out. Man, that's just,
I mean, there's some dudes though. They get their bell rung, and as they're going down, literally like their brain checks back in, and then that's where they go for a single leg.
Let me ask you something. You guys watch MMA? Gotta watch that Charles Oliveira fight.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Oliveira he's fucking awesome.
yeah, he's putting it together.
He's awesome, man. His jiu-jitsu is really really good, and
And his hair's on fire.
yeah. he said it took him 3 days to get his hair to look like that for that fight. So I was listening to the guys, the commentators, and they're like, and they were commentating about how when they were grappling, because there was a lot of grappling, especially the second round.
Yeah.
They were saying like how Kevin Lee was really winning the grappling exchanges, and I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? Because as a person who does jiu-jitsu, I think of if somebody's attacking with submissions the entire time and getting in better positions to attack submissions, they're winning the grappling exchanges. Kevin Lee was just doing a pretty good job of defending and slipping out of shit, right? And so in MMA, you watch more is the when you're looking at it and you're saying that guy's he's winning the grappling exchanges because it's UFC or MMA, and you can hit somebody, and you're not you escape a submission. But dude, that person was pretty close to ending your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's so obviously in my mind, if you're the one at being the aggressor and the like making the guy go on the defense, you're winning.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter where you are.
Do you think judges know that?
No, of course not. Like I think because the judges they're selected by the commission, and the commission is like a sports commission, so they'll put any judges in there as long as they pass the test.
Yeah.
Right.
So like all four of us right here could just go to North Carolina Commission, Sports Commission, be like, I want to be a judge for MMA, boxing, or whatever, contact sports. They'd be like, sure, take this test, and then you get certified and you go in there and you judge. But the issue is there's no years of experience requirement.
Right.
Like a lot of those guys, some of them they do have experience. Like who is it? There's this one judge, can't remember his name, but he's like a karate black belt or something, legitimate, but knows nothing about the ground game. How is he supposed to judge ground fighting if he doesn't understand it? If he sees someone on the ground, he's gonna be like, that guy's losing regardless of what's going on, And then you have like, you guys ever see the DJ Cejudo fight?
DJ. Oh yeah, I saw.
Demetrius Johnson.
I watched
Cejudo.
that. Well, which one? Is there two?
The second one.
No, I didn't watch the second one.
So the second one went to the decision, and this is basically how it went down. DJ won on the feet. Obviously, he's hit him more, and he hit him more accurately, and he was defending on the shots. But Cejudo took him down pretty much every round, and held him down every round. Who wins? Depends on the judge.
He held him down to the end.
If he got him down, it was pretty hard for him to get back up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those situations where clearly one guy's better standing up, and clearly one guy's
Better at takedown.
looking better on the ground.
Yeah.
Looking better on the ground. Like if you watch, I think like round 3 and 4, pretty much DJ was on his back the entire time, but he was active. He was throwing knees from the ground, which how can you throw a knee from the ground?
It's pretty rare. Yeah.
He's throwing elbows. He's trying for submissions. He's trying for switches. He's doing like Grammy rolls. He's doing everything he can to get back up, and Cejudo is just keeping him down.
Yeah.
Do you think he deserves to win? Obviously,
In
we're
my
jiu-jitsu
opinion, no.
black belts.
Yeah.
We look at that and be like, clearly DJ's winning because he's actually doing something.
Right.
But then when you see another judge, they're gonna be like, I mean, he's on top.
Yeah, I mean, like when you look at it from a jiu-jitsu perspective, it's like, yo, you got to keep moving. If not, you get called for stalling, which there's no real stalling in MMA aside from when, the judge
You
gets
have
you
to
back
be
up
like,
and start
you have to be
fighting
like
again.
completely not moving
Yeah.
for them to call it.
Yeah, literally.
So I mean, it's all subjective. That's the biggest issue of judging, in my opinion. It's. I feel like there should be a change to judging, but I mean, who am I
How much
to say?
does guys get paid? Like in a big fight?
It depends on the commission. Commission decides it all.
I figure it'd be a good thing to do every once in a while for like ex-MMA fighters.
Yeah, that's
Why
what I
wouldn't
think.
they just do that? Just to pick up some extra cash on the weekend.
They think there's going to be a bias to it. So like if we're teammates,
Yeah, true.
we go in and coach, or we go in and ref your fight,
Yeah.
or judge your fight.
Versus Joe Blow that's never done a contact sport. He's like, I'm unbiased.
Yeah.
But I can be bugged.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is also you can't even stop bad judges from being biased.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the whole John Jones, Dominic Reyes situation, where clearly Dom won, but because John Jones is the champ. What do you think of that?
So I'm of the mindset of like, you have to beat the champ.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, getting a decision to get the championship is not the same as beating the champ.
I don't feel that way.
All right, explain yourself.
So look, like in jiu-jitsu,
Uh-huh.
Buchecha, he's multiple-time world champ. If some random black belt goes in there and beats him by like 1 point, did he beat him?
Yeah.
Yeah, beat him by 1 point.
Yeah. What if there's no points scored and he got like an advantage? Did he beat him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you score an advantage?
By
He almost did
passing.
something, right?
Yeah.
He's being more active, right? Does he not deserve to be the champ in like super heavyweight or whatever just because, he barely beat him? It's the same thing in MMA.
You're talking about
We're talking about that
referees,
scenario?
Like,
Yeah, in the scenario.
I would use the referee's decision then. And in
But the
jiu-jitsu,
referee's decision, would you say that because
the referees, so referees decision in jiu-jitsu, you can't argue that they can be biased at times.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, but
100%.
that's what I'm trying to argue is like what should there be a bias in that situation where clearly one guy, even if he is the champ, he did less. Even if he was a previous champ, he did less. should he still be winning if the other guy did more?
No,
If he didn't definitively beat him.
I don't think belts are as big a deal, other than the fact that you get the notoriety and the marketing and the public, like the publicity of being the champion. It's not like winning a tournament and becoming a champion. You know what I'm saying? So
I think in the UFC, the belt's definitely got to come with some money.
To me, like it's more of a, okay, you're a champ. You won the championship of this. You won this belt, but it's not like you went through everybody to get there. You were promoted. You did a good job. You've probably performed really, really well for sure.
Beat a couple guys
to earn a title shot, but
unless you Anderson and you were one dude,
but you could be also somebody who's really good at selling fights or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So neither here nor there. What I'm saying to you is it's just because you're the champ. I'm agreeing with him in terms of the fact that you don't have to. You have to, if you win in terms of the technicalities of the fight, you win. In my opinion, let's not put too much weight into he's the champ.
Yeah, I don't think that matters. Like if you covered him in silhouettes, and then you watch the fight again, I feel like everyone would pick Don because he scored more.
But then he got taken down a couple times.
No, he didn't get taken down at all.
Really?
Yeah, not at all. He wasn't on the ground.
Pull that fight up.
Yeah, pull up the stats for that.
What's the stats? No. For,
John
for
Jones,
Reyes and
Dominic
John
Reyes, UFC like 248 or some shit.
You on the clock now?
But no, yeah, like if you put a silhouette over him, it's hard to argue for John. Like, I mean, if you really dug into it and looked at each and every scenario, yeah, he was blocking shots, but he wasn't he wasn't dishing any back. He wasn't firing back.
Yeah.
Could he take a shot?
Yeah, I mean, he took a couple shots.
2 out of 9 takedowns. Reyes got
2 out of 9. Okay.
Okay.
So he
Reyes had 0 takedowns.
He had 0 takedowns.
What,
didn't even try.
significant-
Wait, that deserves a little more credibility.
But he didn't even
Significant
try
strikes.
though.
Huh?
He didn't even try to take
Because
it
he
down.
couldn't.
Because he didn't need to.
I don't know. Now you're making excuses.
Well, look.
Oh, okay.
Look, here's the thing. And Shamal, you can get on this too. Look, if I know I'm better on the feet, do I need to take you down to win the round?
You just need to defend my takedowns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm still being active in grappling, right? If I'm defending.
Yeah.
Why do I need to take you down?
You don't need to take him down.
I don't, there's no point. It's like Anderson Silva. When does he ever need to take anyone down?
Agreed.
Israel Adesanya. When does he ever need to take anyone down? Yoel Romero needs to take people down because, he's not the biggest guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not the tallest guy, but he's definitely freaking tank.
I didn't watch that fight, but I heard it was horrible. Him and
It
Israel.
was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Did you watch it?
I saw snippets.
Did the fight
Did you see
before?
this thing?
Yeah, when he was like dancing.
The
or whatever.
shuffle?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
shuffle. Yeah.
The fight before, that's like fight of the year. That's fight of the year right there. Joanna and Zhang Weili. That's fight of the year.
They were throwing some
Man.
leather.
Yeah, they were
some
throwing
leather.
heat.
I heard Joanna just her face her head.
Swollen.
Yeah, hematoma.
Who was that guy?
She
that
turned
used
into
to-
Megamind.
Who was that guy that fought Jose Aldo back in the day?
Mark Hominick.
Yeah, Mark. You remember?
Yeah,
that?
where
We
he
watched that.
he had like a whole little baby head.
Do you
just
remember,
growing out of his dome?
I think Mark took him down or something, and Jose was just looking up at it like, "Holy shit, I'm not punching that."
Yeah.
Like, fuck, let me
Like-
get up first.
No. Do you remember when was it Josh Thompson or something like that? He got punched in the ear. It was one of the fights that was the first fights that were on like regular TV, and his cauliflower ear busted open, and they called the fight because like how gruesome it was gonna be. Like they're like, no. Then he's like, what? I didn't tap her. I wasn't out. Or
They did the same thing for Nate Diaz. His eye was about to fall out.
Oh, with the cut.
Yeah,
That should have been stopped, right?
yeah, that clearly should have been stopped. I mean, if you look at it, like he had a flap of skin like this. If he had been punched one more time, it would just came off. Like a whole chunk of his face just gone.
That guy's got so much scar tissue, dude.
Scar
Yeah.
tissue.
Yeah, just
That's
ridiculous.
that's another thing. Like, it impacts the way the judges score it too. Like how badly the guy looks. Like,
He's always gonna.
I think that affected the Joanna fight because the hematoma literally made her look like she had an extra head.
Yeah. What I would like to know is what statistics do the referees have in front of them aside from also watching the fight? You know what I mean? Like, are you getting power punches?
That's a
Are
good
you
question.
getting takedowns? Are you getting,
Yeah,
all that information? Is that in front of you so you can make your best decision at the end of round 1, round 2, round 3?
I'm not sure
Yeah.
because they only give like a minute for them to decide.
Because in like,
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there it is.
we're looking at the
Megamind.
hematoma from the fight.
Megamind right there.
Because to me, I feel like even not being MMA referee, right, or coming from a contact sport, you can then make an educated decision if you have all the statistics in front of you.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. Just being able to look at the stats to see who's actually winning in which regard.
Right.
That's true.
So
UFC 249 is still going on.
Oh,
They're trying to make it go on. Yeah.
Where's
is
that-
that on
where's
the
that?
Onion? What's the
That's-
source?
Where's
They
it
don't
from?
know. They can't do it in the U.S.
Yeah.
Who's the headliner? Khabib.
Tony.
Yeah. That was supposed to be in
Khabib.
Vegas, though, right?
It was supposed to be
Yeah.
in New York, Madison Square Garden, but then New York banned events, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, all right, let's just take it to
You better
Apex.
take that shit to Moscow, bro.
Dude, they're saying let's
Hey.
take it to Dubai. Or let's go on international
Who's got?
waters.
I think the last time we spoke, we all went Khabib, right? Is
Yeah,
it?
Khabib.
Khabib.
Yeah. Okay.
Khabib. What do you think, Shmo?
Oklahoma City,
What?
Hey, Oklahoma City's nice.
Fire Lake Arena.
That's like probably an Indian casino or something like that. Though. So
Get out of
question. This is a question for Gomez. If you were to say, I'm going to give you the sport, you tell me if the season's canceled or not. For the year, because they're most of them are just postponed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You're saying you're going to give me a sport, and
Yeah.
I'm the commissioner, quote unquote.
you're just telling me what you don't have to be a commissioner. You're just
Oh.
telling me in your gut reaction what do you think it's going to be.
Oh, what it's going to? Okay, gotcha.
The NBA. Is it done?
No,
You don't think it's done?
I don't think it's done because again, the sport, everything's indoors, and it doesn't interfere with other sports. TV time wise, probably right, but so is every other sport. But when it comes to arena time, no.
So you're saying that they would carry it on without a crowd?
Right. Depending. Again, if it goes, I think there's a time limit. Like, for example, if it goes past July, I don't think they'll definitely cancel it because the playoffs are usually when? April?
The playoffs start in May, usually.
So when does the season usually end?
They end in early July.
Early July. So if they don't start back up until July, then it's probably going to be canceled.
Okay.
Unless they go off of whatever the records were at that time, which a lot of teams aren't going to be happy with because they're either on the cusp of making the playoffs.
So that's the point. So my question to you, basically saying that we're going to be able to contain this thing to the point where the NBA season can carry on.
Wait a second. You just
behind closed doors. That's the question. Because you know what I'm saying.
But that wasn't the question
No, it
originally
is
because
really.
you said
I mean, but
you're now saying containing the
I think
virus, but
I'm saying to you, like, you need to take the virus into account. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Well, I don't think anything's going to happen this year.
So I think the NFL season will.
Nah, I don't think
I
so.
think that'll be okay.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We're not going to be able
You-
to
the
contain
NFL, so the NFL is not till what, September?
Yeah, they've already pushed back like off-season workouts that are
Okay,
what
so
it
it starts later. But I'm saying if the NFL season, you can at least get some semblance of
Which one's
you,
crying?
like- is that her?
Yeah.
Sorry. So if you can get the NBA NFL season, you can probably get some semblance of containment based on what scientists are saying. They're saying like, okay, there are people that are, if we're staying indoors, there's isolation, social distancing, you can slow this spread down. That the curve will be basically flattened out more to where
Yeah.
at that time you should be able to get the season in.
But
Well,
like you're expecting people to go to games or not
I
go
don't
to
know.
games?
I don't know.
If
That's
they
what
do,
was-
if
that
they
was
do
hard.
games
Yeah.
this year, it's not going to be. It's got to be closed. Like
Gotta be
that's the
behind
best.
closed
way.
I think if they don't at least find the vaccine is, and you can look it up, but I think a year away, year and a half away, 2 years. I've even heard 2 years. So I've heard a year and a half, 2 years. Right?
it's done human trials.
Right, but I've heard all three. Like,
Yeah.
there's no imminent. Hey, next month we're gonna have some type of results.
Yeah.
Right. So, right now, what I feel like you have to get to is how can we kill it from whatever surface it's on. So
Right.
because, and I don't know the exact statistics, but it lasts a certain amount of time in the air. It lasts a certain amount of time on wood versus metal versus plastic.
Like any
Right.
virus.
But if hypothetically, let's say Clorox bleach, which they would have already done these tests, but let's say that kills it off whatever
I've been
surface
drinking it every
immediately.
night.
So kills it off whatever surface immediately. Now that gives you a sense of like a security blanket, sort of. Now, you don't have the vaccine, right? But you can limit how much it's going to spread from touching versus from like actual human contact.
Right.
So I think that'll ease some of the things, and potentially that'll lead to games being played indoors with no extra people. But if that doesn't happen, then no. The league will be canceled. The season will be canceled. I don't even know the implications on championship or what, because you can't do it like
I don't
the
think
NCAA.
anything's going to happen this year for
Sports,
anything.
sports, music, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, in all honesty, I don't believe, especially in the U.S., we're going to be able to contain it until we understand the scope of it, and we won't understand the scope of it until we do mass testing. Which, I mean, have you guys
can't
been
contain it until you're testing in general.
exactly like? Have you guys been paying attention to how many cases there are in the in Charlotte, in
It
Mecklenburg
was
County?
77 yesterday.
Yeah,
That's
and
gone up.
like
I
last
believe
week it was
it's
4.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like huge increase, and that's because no one's being tested. There
Right.
could be like triple, quadruple the amount of that.
Well, there
just
could
here
be a
in the
lot
city.
of people. Yeah, there could be a lot of people who are walking around.
Yeah,
Just like, I got a raspy throat.
Or no symptoms at all, like we were saying
Yeah.
right before we started, right? Edgar refused to wash his hands until we made him wash his hands. So what I said, I think like people could just be walking around and be a carrier of it, and they don't even know it, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And like you have, all these celebrities, all these athletes.
For hour on the service.
No, tell us the
What's
numbers.
the news source?
But you have all these celebrities and all these athletes that are getting tested because they have the money and they have the resources to go out and be like, hey, let me get tested. But then for us, regular Joe Schmoes,
Yeah.
we can go in there and then all of a sudden we start getting tested, we're positive, or maybe we do have symptoms. We go in there and we find out it's not the fever, not the flu, and it is coronavirus. Then we're paying like thousands and thousands of dollars just to.
It's fucked up. It's not around.
It's
The
just,
testing's not. It's just not widely available.
Yeah.
and the thing is, we could
mean-
very much end up like Italy. Italy is getting destroyed.
Wrecked,
They're like
yeah.
second in the most
They've
infections.
just passed China.
They just passed China.
In terms of
In terms of
deaths.
deaths,
That's
yeah, they just
that,
passed
see, that's
China.
the insane part. But then you look at like South Korea, who literally got it the next day after China, and then they're
But
like
they were first of all, testing was for free.
Exactly.
And it was mandatory.
exactly they're doing mass testing, and then they were able to know the scope and then contain it.
Right.
And they still have jiu-jitsu. That's the fucked up part.
Are they training?
They got closed door training. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, for like their obviously for athletes like what's his name, Zombie,
Korean
Zombie, and all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the numbers? Tell us for wood. That's a big. I think that's a big thing because we have a lot of wood. On hours. Okay. That's it, not days.
2 to 3 days on plastic and stainless steel. 3 hours on aerosols, up to 4 hours on copper.
4
and
hours on
24
copper.
cardboard. It's like all over the place.
Yeah.
Bro,
24 hours.
get that box out of here, bro.
Yeah, that's probably from China.
Yeah. Like, yo, Amazon about to go down. You're getting your stuff in plastic bags.
So I have something interesting. Good question, also for Max. Have you received any? Probably not, because you don't go out very much in general.
No.
But if you go to the grocery store or whatever, I don't know if you
Have any threats or anything?
no, or like people looking at you weird.
No.
Well, I'm just saying is I was on a Google Hangout yesterday with I have a lot of friends that I grew up with that are Asian, 2 Taiwanese American, 2 Chinese American, and one of them definitely said he lives in Florida. He was kind of giving some weird looks when going out to grocery store, and then the other guy was like. Who was Taiwanese American? It was very funny. He was basically saying, "I don't trust Asian people right now."
Actually, I can't even trust myself. No, I mean,
I was like, did I wash my hands? I don't.
I think here it's not a lot of people that are like super paranoid, and there's not a lot of cases.
In Charlotte, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a lot of cases in general. So I think the fear factor is a little lower. But my brother lives out in California, and obviously a lot of Asians and a lot of crazy people. But thankfully, he's never run into any situations. But he's always talking about it.
Yeah.
Even at his local Target, there was an issue where this Asian guy, I think he was Asian. He looked Asian. He like coughed or sneezed or something, just like just regular.
Yeah.
And like, I shit you not, 3 to 4 people confronted him and just started screaming at him like, "You need to get out. Like, you shouldn't be here." Blah blah. And like, the craziest thing to me is, So I'll tell you what I think of it, and then I'll tell you what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think of it is, it's dumb because you're showing just how sort of xenophobic you are just by confronting a random guy for sneezing. And you're showing how stupid you are because if you're afraid of the spreading of the virus, why would you get closer to the proposed epicenter of the virus in this location, you know?
Right.
It's dumb.
Right.
Now, what I would have done is just started laying people out. I would have just started hammering away.
Like,
you
If
know?
you were the Asian guy.
Yeah, I would. If they're getting because they were getting in his face.
yeah, that's a different story.
Was it
Yeah.
a video of this? Or
Yeah, there's a video of it.
Okay.
I'll show you later. But like they were getting in his face, and man, I said I would have started laying people out like damp laundry. I just started going at him. My friend was like, just start barking at him. You know, just start barking at him. And B said, my girlfriend said, just lay down and start convulsing.
So the point of it is
Start
like,
foaming.
the real question is, do you think those people would have done that if the person who sneezed or coughed was not Asian?
Nah, I think it would have been less of a chance, but I still think they would have had like a fear of it. They would have probably backed away. They wouldn't have confronted him.
They wouldn't have confronted him.
Yeah.
Okay, because I coughed a little bit today in Target just because I have congestion.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything to me.
Well, they probably thought other things when they saw you.
Nobody confronted me. Yeah.
But no, yeah. I mean, I really think it.
Did you
believes,
want to get confronted? I
No,
feel like
no,
there
I'm
was
just
a little
saying,
like,
I was
hey,
just saying,
how
like,
come
I was
didn't?
just thinking about it today because I was at Target today.
Yeah, but he's like, how come I didn't get the same energy homie got at the
Well, he
Target?
missed
Like,
jiu-jitsu.
what's going on?
He wanted to
Listen,
do some moves,
you know.
pull guard, you know,
I would
butterfly
have
sweep.
pulled
him.
right in the top,
I'm
right
not pulling guard on concrete.
in Target.
Yeah, no way.
Nah, I mean, it really depends on the area.
Can we just move to the carpeted section?
I'm going to the home goods section and getting a lantern.
Oh shit! Just fucking walking around mats. It's like, hold on.
Like,
No.
yeah, these are yoga mats, but hey, do what you could do.
But no, yeah. I mean, it just depends on the area. That's the biggest thing here. Obviously, just wash your hands. You know, that's what the first thing you should have said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wash your hands.
Dude, just walk around everywhere you go. Wash your hands. Just point at
Yeah.
people. Wash your hands.
I am washing my hands a lot more than I ever have.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm like because I'll like if I leave the house and as soon as I walk in the house, I'm washing my hands because I don't know if I did touch anything that somebody else touched. That was
He came to my house and washed his hands probably 6, if not 10 times.
yeah.
In a matter of like
It was
2
a-
hours,
it was,
probably.
It was 4.
We did eat chicken wings, but
Yeah.
aside from eating chicken wings,
See, I don't feel like a lot of has in terms of like cleaning. A lot has changed for me because I clean all the time.
yeah.
You know, I'm always washing my hands. I got hand sanitizer like everywhere.
Do you wash your hands regularly when you walk in the home? Like say you went to the grocery store and you
Like
came in?
when I take my dog out, I'll wash my hands when I come back. You know, before and after I eat, before and after I use the restroom.
Because I feel like what if I got poop residue?
Yeah.
That's my fear. I'm not like in my mind even now. I'm not worried about the kung flu. I'm worried about like, am I gonna get ringworm or something?
Yeah.
You keep calling it
The kung flu.
It's
which,
funny.
Which I know. As soon as I heard, I was like, it's racist as fuck, but it's pretty damn. It's pretty damn. I texted Edgar like this the day it came out. I was like, man, this is really racist, but this is funny too.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's not as bad as Trump saying the China flu.
Chinese.
Oh wait,
virus.
the
so
Chinese virus or
we
something.
all saw when the lady asked him, she's like, "Why do you keep calling it the China flu?" There's Chinese Americans that are either scared or getting assaulted for this, and he's like, "Because it came from China."
Did you see? Yeah, did you see the one where like the reporter was asking? She was from the bullshit network. I think it's called. I don't know what it's called. ATN or OTN or O1 or I don't know what it's called. Some conservative show network, and she was like, "So why are people getting so bent out of shape, Mr. President, for you calling it the Chinese virus? They don't get upset when people say Chinese food because that food comes from China." And he's like, and he starts like. Praising her.
That was like a softball pitch.
He's like she's basically giving him some type of logic to latch onto.
Yeah.
That's not even there. You know
that's
what I'm saying?
that's just dumb, man.
It's just stupid.
I try and stay away from those kind of things just because it bothers me in such a way. But
Did I tell you this? I think
I don't know.
or
What
maybe
are you
I
gonna
didn't.
say?
But so it's been 48 hours since I listened to the news.
Since
or
you
watched
tested
the news.
what?
I don't know. I'm sure because Shema's been in my house now for a few days, and at least a few days. And yeah, I was definitely watching the news more while he was here. And then I felt like I was getting, like I felt sick or something every
You were
time I watched
definitely
the
in
news.
too deep.
Yeah, I feel like it was mentally. It was like, what's it talking about? I'm feeling
Yeah,
sick.
the
all of a sudden.
WebMD effect.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And the worst thing is they're I mean, some of the stuff they're saying is true, but then other stuff is just not true. You know, like especially because here's the thing: my mom, she like we have a little WeChat thing, and she's always texting me and my brother these fake news things, and it's the dumbest thing because it's from like China too, and it's just like, man, that's it's just not true. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like your whole world is a lie. You know?
Yeah. But she believes it?
No, she'll send it to us and like there's this one. My brother actually trolled her and sent her like a Facebook news thing about how it starts in your throat, like the virus starts in your throat and stays in your throat or something. So if you drink warm water, you'll be fine.
If you if you gargle.
Yeah, if you gargle, yeah. And then
puppy on the loose.
I was wondering what dropped.
Yeah. So I had one other thing about that.
Speak your mind.
Speak, Mom.
Speak, brother Ahmed.
Oh, speaking of fake news, I did. Did I tell you about the documentary that I watched last? I watched
Truth?
it. It's called After Truth.
After Truth,
and
yeah.
HBO. It's really good. It's well done.
You just told me to watch it. You didn't
It's
say
pretty.
what it
It's. I just finished it last night, and it was. It just examines about basically how, what the phenomenon of fake news and how it started, and basically this phenomenon of disinformation and how it was used originally by they kind of go into by the 2016 election in terms of
Cambridge Analytica.
Russia's interference, and then they show it now going from just a typical Russian thing that now it's used by both political parties. Like they're both doing like disinformation to fuck with the other one, right? And we're basically caught in the middle, especially if you're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook's a fucking.
So you're not caught in the middle.
Thankfully. Well, Twitter's got that shit too, but you can filter a little bit better on Twitter.
Yeah, well, Twitter's is like a short
you can
form version.
easily filter on Twitter than you can on Facebook. The only thing you can do on Facebook is quit following your dumbass friends. Yeah, it's good. It's we were kind of hesitant. I watched it. It was really well done.
I mean, the thing is, you know, if you don't pay attention to the news, then you're uninformed. But if you pay attention to the news, you're misinformed.
Yeah.
So there's no way around. There's no positive out of this. You know,
True.
especially in this economy, it just doesn't work.
The hard part is clickbait makes money, and that's how
Yeah,
some folks
That's
make
exactly
money.
what it is. It sells ads.
You know,
Because I saw an article the other day, and it was like, it was like 32-year-old, dies from the, COVID-19. I was like, okay, let me click. I mean, like I'm 32. I just turned 34. Let me go ahead and look this up. And I looked it up, and she's like, she was doing her chemo regimen from her leukemia. I was like, wait a second. So like, I mean, it's already known, right, that if you're immunocompromised, that the potential of you potentially dying from it is really higher. But I'm like, it wasn't like she had the cold and then she got COVID-19. It was she already had cancer, was getting treatment, and then got COVID-19. So technically, she died from all that together, not just from COVID-19.
Right.
yeah,
But the clickbait got me.
yeah. That's just the way it is. Like, in all honesty, like I'm not downgrading this virus at all.
Yeah.
But it's if you put it pound for pound between all the
All the
pandemics.
other viruses?
Yeah, all the pandemics.
Yeah.
This is pound for pound the weakest. Easily,
Really?
the weakest. Yeah.
Is it because it's the most recent / youngest?
No, it's the most volatile because it spreads the fastest.
Okay.
That's the scariest part for me. So
Make sure you didn't fall out.
yeah, it spreads faster than any other virus we've ever had, and it's you can be positive without knowing, like we've been saying.
Yeah. And not feel
But
anything.
yeah, but then with like something like Zika or Ebola or swine flu, or even like back in the day with the similar like kind of coronavirus like things like SARS or MERS, those freaking destroyed you. They obliterated you.
Yeah.
And that's I think that attributes to how it spreads, because if it kills you before you can spread it, it's not gonna spread.
Yeah.
But then Corona, it doesn't kill you.
Right.
It just keeps going.
Well, I think it's still early to tell, right? Like
Yeah.
with respect to some, they're saying there's some people that are obviously there's high risk population, elderly and immunodeficient, immunocompromised. But they're also saying it's still too early to tell like what'll happen as
in the long term.
in the long term with young people, right? Or in 30, because there are people who are saying there are people who are 30 to 40 years old that are catching it that didn't have any. They're on immunocompromised now that are definitely falling really sick. It seems like this one spreads really easily just because it can live on surfaces longer. That's the dangerous part.
Yeah, that's the scariest part for me. It's just the way it spreads. It's just a lot stronger in that regard.
Right.
But then in every other term, it's just...
The other big piece is like, so, and this is because if you read about like say, or like the flu pandemic back in 1918,
Spanish flu.
So yeah, that took
Keep in mind, not the Hispanic flu, Spanish flu.
Right? Wasn't racist, but it definitely took a hold of the country. But did it take a toll on the country economically like this one is? I don't think they're saying no, it didn't. Mm-hmm. And which is strange because we have so much technology now that there's so much remote possibility, but also logistically we're so much more connected, and there's so much more, I don't know, people are just out and about all the time.
The interesting part though is like 4 or 6 months ago, maybe even not that long, everybody was just like, kids are so disconnected, they're always on their phones, they're always on the iPads, this and that, and it's like now it's like, don't touch each other, stay away from each other, so you have to rely on that technically. So it's like
what are you gonna do?
That's the world we live in.
Or like, man, I got to get out. I can't keep watching these TV. And it's crazy thing. As soon as the weather started getting nicer, this shit just took a hold, right? Like, I mean, today's probably the one day in Charlotte that's
overcast.
Yeah, but and a little chilly. But man, it's been gorgeous this past week.
It was like 83 yesterday.
Dude, there was a block party outside my apartment last night.
Really?
Yeah. Like people were out in the streets, just like got their lawn chairs, drinking.
Were they social distancing?
No, not
they
at
weren't.
all. No,
people were grinding on each other.
Might as well have been. They were playing freaking cornhole. That terrible game. But wait, you said
what do you got against cornhole?
I'm not a
Let's
cornball.
dig deep here.
Okay. But you said the Spanish flu was worse on the economy, or
it wasn't. I don't think it was
not
as bad.
Oh.
Yeah, they're saying that it wasn't as bad.
Just like overall.
Yeah, I mean, that part of it also is just like
you also got to look at it from the perspective of there is more money in the economy now.
That's
there
true,
is
yeah.
more people with a lot more money than during the Spanish. So that's why it's like I don't have to put my billions in here. I can just keep them to myself.
Right, I can just keep it under my mattress.
Right.
But the thing is also, the Spanish flu was right after World War I, so we had an economic boom. So did they take that into account? Because the economic boom, it shifts the balance of it. You know what I mean?
I also think like you probably history has a lot to do with it. Like back then, how old was the stock market? Not that old, right?
I think it just started.
It wasn't that long. So like maybe investors didn't have as much experience knowing like what to do in this kind of these type of situations.
And they
how many
didn't
people were
understand.
looking up their 401k on their iPhones?
Right.
None.
Right. Exactly.
They also couldn't
Now-
understand that it could crash.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Now we get congressmen that are just selling their stock before we even know about this shit.
Yeah,
That's really fucked up.
That's illegal.
yeah.
It's super.
That's
well,
fucking
actually, I
illegal.
guess they're saying
Burr is actually welcoming investigation. Granted, if you're guilty, I mean, you're also going to
well, I think they're saying it is legal. Like what he did specifically, he's saying the technicality, it's legal. It's just ethically fucked up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess they're sitting.
So then it is illegal.
It's
From an ethical standpoint.
It's ethically illegal.
it's ethically, morally corrupt.
So illegal.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is congressmen, at least, sorry, there was 4 senators, 3 Republicans, 1 Democrat that were behind closed door meetings with the Senate Intelligence Committees that listened to briefings about this coronavirus back in January and actually early February, and then started offloading stock between February 5th and maybe February 27th up to some of them sold up to $3.5 million worth of stock, so they wouldn't get hurt. And then right after that, the stock market crashed.
I mean, that's how it is, man.
That's how fucked up.
Wu-Tang Clan said it first.
The interesting part is them keeping the stock. They technically wouldn't have lost money, right? Like,
What do you mean?
once a bounce back happened, because what I heard was it was predominantly like hotel stock that specifically Burr had, which is obviously hotels are going to be closed or people aren't going to be staying in hotels. Therefore, that stock's going to drop. So that's why he sold it before he
sold
you know.
he sold Wyndham Hotel.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like holding it or keeping it post, the Kung flu. What would have been the issue there?
Yeah, I feel like airlines did the same because they dropped like 60%.
So I think he sold it because he didn't know if it was going to make up. I mean, if I knew about it before it, like I probably would have sold, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what people are doing, some like with industries like say the company, I won't say the company I work for, but it's a financial organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their stock went down, right? A lot of people sold their stock, but now a lot of people are buying that stock on the low.
Right.
So like they're saying they're selling their stock because they sold their stock as it was dropping, and now they're waiting for that stock price to drop,
Yeah.
and then they're going to start buying it. Right. So you'll see some of that, but with some of these industries that are like, yo, you're going to be hurting for a good while, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like hotels, resorts, travel companies, anything like that. They're
Cruises.
cruises, right? Entertainment,
Yeah.
anything like that they're going to be hurting.
Yeah. I mean,
This isn't really a battle buddy type theme, but it's really.
oh well, no, we're battling. We're battling
Yeah.
the virus. Okay.
You lied.
We're economically battling.
We're gonna win.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing we can talk about. We can talk about. See, this is my thing.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the John Jones thing real quick.
Okay.
'Cause I'm still on that. I'm still on that.
He was waiting.
No, I'm gonna use that to segue back into what I was gonna say.
Okay.
So, in my mind, John wasn't trying to win. He was just trying not to lose. You know what I'm saying? He was doing enough to not lose, but he wasn't doing enough to win. Right? He was defending. Right? He was initiating certain things, but he wasn't completing it. So he was doing enough to not lose. Right? I think we're doing the same thing here in pretty much our how we're dealing and handling with this, this pandemic. It's in the U.S. We're doing enough not to lose. We gotta do more, and the only way we can do more is if we stop thinking about money in that regard. I mean, I have investments in stock, and I've tanked, but then I know it's gonna come back because the stock market always comes back.
Right.
So when you're saying like we got to do more, are we saying like we as a community, society?
No, the government. That's what I'm
So
trying to say.
testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing more than just saying, oh, we're gonna, which is a great thing. We're gonna, stop all interest from accumulating. I think mortgages are gonna go down, which is great for me because I just bought a house.
Yeah.
But a lot of things, they're helping people not lose money, but they're not helping people get back to where they were. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're kind of stopping their own tax losses, but they're not boosting the economy back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think again, you only do so much unless you're putting money in the hands of the consumer, right?
Yeah.
Right now, people are freaking out because if they lose their job or if they've already lost their job, can I pay my bills? Can I pay my mortgage? Can I pay my rent? Can I pay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are the things that they're really thinking. Can I put food on the table?
Yeah.
Right. So unless you do something like that, like to stimulate the economy where you're putting money back in the consumer's hands, or you're saying, doing something where, lenders can't collect mortgages or what have you, or, they did one thing with 1 month where you can't evict. The HUD said you can't evict people for this month or what have you.
They also did the student loan
Forgiveness for the
student loan
yeah,
forgiveness.
which I don't know how big of a deal.
I mean,
that
I already
is.
paid mine off. So
Yeah.
how does that help me?
Yeah. I just don't know. Like that's like people, but if you're saying that don't worry about that, then people will start spending money like they normally would spend money on other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's,
I mean,
Yeah, but right now you're thinking twice. Like, for example, me, I'm like, before this happened, I was like, I really wanted to buy a drone, I was like, all right, looking for,
I just
cheaper
bought this
side,
TV.
and
I'm
that.
like, shit, did I bought this TV?
No.
I'm like, what do I do?
So I'm like, drone is like $500. So I was like, all right, so spending $500.
that's one bottle of hand sanitizer, dude.
Yeah, no.
You know how much ammo
On
$500 can buy?
a piece of electronics, or whatever my grocery bill is going to be, or the water bill for the next 6 months, or something like that.
Right.
So
you take that into account. That's like a consumer.
versus before, I would have just been like,
Yeah,
all
man,
right, I'm
that
gonna buy it, and then once my next paycheck, like, fine, everything's gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
I just think we should have free healthcare. That's the big thing there, because then that's like a
That's
I mean,
a stress on somebody if they
yeah.
get caught with the disease, you mean?
yeah. Well, I mean, not even that. For like a lot of us, we just need that like extra $100 back in our pockets every month. That
Right.
could really just be helpful in buying groceries, because groceries can cost, if you buy it right, like $100 every 2 weeks.
People
which is great.
People would disagree a lot with you saying that free healthcare for all.
I mean, I feel like there's more benefits than there are cons, because especially in a situation like this where it is escalating out of hand, because we need testing.
Right.
That's like my biggest point here. If and I don't know how they could do it, because I just don't really understand the government at that level. I don't understand like the federal ability to do it at that level, to say, hey, look, for this next month or whatever, you can go to the hospital and you'll have freer, or like you have less charges, or you'll have less fees or whatever. Like, just try and decrease that so that they can get more people in there and get them better faster.
Which I thought, if I'm not mistaken, I got something in my email from my job saying that any testing for COVID-19 was free.
Yeah,
I didn't get
some
anything like
some
that.
companies are doing that. I know
Right.
Duke Energy is doing that.
Right. So my thing is, like, what's the speed bump on getting more people tested? Is it more people just aren't going to get tested? Is it
We don't have enough tests.
We don't have enough tests. All right. So now the government is, because it was considered a pandemic, and I forgot whatever else, but now the government's using private industry, right, to be able to make more tests, right? But like, that can only happen so fast. Like, a factory or a machine can only make whatever plastic pieces or swabs or whatever so quickly, so fast.
They're not willing to spend the money.
Who's not willing?
The government.
How are they not willing? But they just, first of all, they already said they're working with private industry, and if I'm not mistaken, which our Jamie just went away, but there's like some fun for like
only specifically to make ventilators, but not to get the actual tests shipped out. The tests that's the big issue why they're being criticized. The federal government's being criticized because they're not stepping in, and they're leaving it on the states to figure that out for their citizens, right? So they're not. If the federal government paid for tests and made them readily available for everybody,
but you can't make them readily available for everybody, right?
well, you can't.
Just from like making the actual test itself,
Well, why?
right? What do you mean? Why? Just
I mean,
think about it.
I'm-
how fast can a machine spit out Skittles? Let's say 1,000 Skittles a minute. Okay, so how are you going to get that machine to make 2,000 Skittles a minute, 3,000 Skittles a minute? You cannot.
So can we look at
Right?
So we look at the statistics on like how many people are getting, how many tests were being run in South Korea on a daily basis.
Okay,
So that'll tell you whether we can or can't do it.
but we're not South Korea.
Why?
So how would it? What do you mean? Why?
So
We're a
I-
totally different country.
No, I understand that,
Okay.
but why? So if South Korea can get tests
Right.
ran,
So now dig deeper.
for their public.
So I would ask you to dig deeper. Where are the manufacturing plants that make those tests? Are they here in the United States? Or are they in South Korea?
I don't know.
So if hypothetically,
So I know that-
if they are in South Korea, that would answer your question as to why they can test more people faster, right? Hypothetically, this is totally hypothetical.
So
versus
to answer your question,
those tests would have to come all the
answer
way
your
to the
que-
U.S.
Quest and LabCorp have been tasked to actually make tests.
Okay.
But in terms of funding for it, who's paying for it? We don't know. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so people are going to bitch about, whether the federal government's going to step in or not. And they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. That's the major qualm and criticism you should have with people. And I know we're getting probably deep into this, guys, but like,
I mean, that's what this is for. My biggest thing is I've heard several times already, and it I don't know if it like nips at me or what it is, but it's like there's not enough tests. Okay, there's not enough tests. But let's not complain. Let's dig deeper and know why there's not enough tests. Is it just because the manufacturing of the test there's not enough?
I think it literally comes down.
I don't think it comes down to money.
I think it comes down to who's going to pay for the tests. It comes down to that. Why?
Yeah.
So
why would you?
So let's put the theory to test is How did the Utah Jazz get everybody in their organization tested within a span of like 3 or 4 days?
You'd have to see did everybody go to the same place? Did the state of Utah have more tests than anyone else?
They spent the $3,000 or whatever it was for the test.
That is your assumption?
No, I'm just saying
that's factual.
They literally spent the money on the
I
test.
I got some numbers. So currently, as it stands in Korea, they can test up to at least 20,000 people per day, every day, and how they did it was as soon as WHO, World Health Organization, basically
not the band. What?
Yeah, they basically told them like, look, you got to deal with this. They immediately shifted a shit ton of factories to start producing any sort of test equipment they can produce. So like they just that was the thing about their healthcare in Korea is that they've prepared by already assigning factories that produce non-medical stuff to be able to produce medical stuff. Mm-hmm. So then you just shifted it. They're like, hey, look, it's medical time.
They're pandemic. They were prepared for a pandemic.
They were very well prepared.
So where we're not. Are we saying we're not?
No, there's no way because we don't have any ability to go to factories which are majority privately owned to be like, hey, you need to stop producing whatever you're producing and start producing this because we need this.
Yeah.
Whereas in Korea, they're just like, flip of a switch.
Well, why?
Let's do it.
Why?
Why can't we do it here?
Why are they doing it there? Who's funding that?
The government.
Okay. That's the point.
See, that's my thing.
The point of it is the government says we're going to flip the switch and we're going to pay you for this.
Yeah.
You're not losing the financing behind this. You're just going to make this. You're going to make these tests really available for everybody. So so you're hearing this now with respect to ventilators, right? So you heard GM, Tesla, Ford Motor Company, all being now just kind of reacting towards it with the government is like we're gonna figure out how you guys can make ventilators for everybody, but not necessarily tests. Which we need ventilators. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. It's like those organizations have obviously ties to the government, but it's
bailouts specifically.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's slowly but surely, right? But it's very reactionary, and I think that for that reason, you're going to see probably a lot more people get sick over here.
Yeah, I think it's reactionary due to Italy running out of ventilators.
Well, I also think
they also didn't test. They also didn't.
Italy?
They didn't test the way they needed to. They didn't isolate the way they needed. They didn't do social distancing. They were fucking having like soccer games.
Yeah,
you remember they were having soccer games about.
EU definitely didn't handle it as well as Korea. But the thing is because I'm reading more about this, and apparently, the Koreans were so prepared that even the citizens were prepared. The citizens themselves were like, "Oh, we can't let this shit happen again." Like with the whole.
Was it SARS?
No, they had MERS.
MERS was the one in the Middle East.
Yeah, but it says here that they experienced 186 cases, which scared them into starting this whole preparation scheme.
I love how Asians caught the brunt for MERS when it really came from Arabs.
That's how it is, man.
Do you want to claim credibility for a disease?
I'm just telling you this where it came.
I was like, that's a weird credibility.
He's like, that's my disease.
That's my disease. I'm on credit.
But that one actually, because it's a form of corona.
Yeah,
MERS is a form of coronavirus, and that debunks who's the guy that was like listening to it, but the guy the Rogan.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what his name is.
He basically was saying like everybody thinks that this is going to go away with the hot weather. It's not, because MERS is a form of coronavirus and it was passed from camel to human in the Arabian Peninsula. And it's hot as fuck in the Arabian Peninsula.
So did we all? I listened to the podcast. Did you?
I listened to that part where you talked about.
I listened to the whole thing.
I listened to that.
I thought it was informative.
I'd liked,
but he was also scaring the fuck out of me.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah,
the comparison he made when it came to why don't we have a lot of these, whether it's tests or masks or whatever. And it's predominantly because that manufacturing has moved outside of the U.S. Like that is why.
That can make sense.
So my a relative of mine was like, well, why would it move? Why would it move? And I was like, all right, so now let's think about this scenario, right? 20 years ago, right? You have a factory, you have a patent to make widget A, right? And every year you're making $5 million, right? You're living good, right? You got 100 employees, company's doing good, stock went up, whatever. And another country, so another company from China says, hey, we want to give you $1 billion for your $5 million per year company. $1 billion right here, right now. Sign on the dotted line. Billion is yours. We got the trademark. We got everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to not only take care of you, take care of the employees. The company's going to continue on, but it's going to move overseas, and you're going to have generational money. So
Sign me up. Let's do it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
With a swipe of a pen, generational money. Now, multiply that by almost every manufacturing job you can think of that used to take place in the U.S. So now we're dependent on other countries for our testing kits, our masks, our plastics. And it was just, that was my explanation to her. If you have the potential to make generational money with a swipe of a pen, would you or would you not? And she said, technically, yes, I would. And it's like, that's why when folks are like, why don't we just make it here? It's like, because we used to.
Yeah. I mean, I think an easier argument would to be like, you own a car. It's your car. You can take it out whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But someone offers you a free chauffeur for the rest of your life. Which would you rather do? The chauffeur will take you everywhere that your car can, no matter what. There will be that you call them, and they're there before you even know it. They're outside waiting all the time. It's pretty much the same thing, because then when you take away the chauffeur,
go gadget chauffeur.
Yeah, when you take away the chauffeur,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? Get another car?
Yeah, true.
It's hard to get another car if you don't have a chauffeur.
So I understand.
I like driving a car.
I get the point that Edgar is
I'd rather drive a car.
And it doesn't say that explains to like why we don't have that type of manufacturing just readily available due to private industry here. It makes 100% sense. The point of what South Korea did is something that we failed to prepare to do, because like in 2018 we cut the pandemic team, for the CDC. So that team did not exist until they just reconstructed after coronavirus came back around, right? But those teams are responsible, I would imagine, for going to private industry and saying, "Hey, we know you don't make these masks because you make cars, but
we need you to make
you to make these masks when you flip, and we're going to front the bill, right?" Yeah. But that doesn't happen here. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to do, because I mean in Korea, their factories produce like the small stuff, which is very easy to just be like, let me just change this to something else real quick. But then even in the car example, the machine that builds a car is not going to be able to build a mask, or any component of
What
the
about
mask.
those Kias, man?
That's why.
Those Hyundais.
Listen, that's why it baffles me when you have a conversation with someone and they're like, "Why don't the factories just switch over to making this?"
Yes.
It's like, no, I don't think you understand tooling. I don't think you understand like how
it just
these
doesn't
machines
work that way.
Like,
Factories aren't
it's still
built
gonna
like
take
that
time.
anymore.
Yeah.
I get that, but what I'm saying to you, there isn't a what do they call it? Disaster recovery type plan, or like whatever, a backup plan. Like what happens when this happens? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you could also compare it to how China handles it, or handling it, is that they kind of fucked up.
They were like, "Stop smoking cigs."
I mean, they've like.
They smoke a lot of
I'll tell you
cigs.
what, man. I got family in China. I know a bunch of people in China. A lot of people, like even here, that they wear masks.
Yeah.
Ever since SARS.
Yeah.
And man, China just wasn't prepared, because it started out in like the country, and then they didn't really care about the country until it came to the city.
Yeah.
The same thing kind of is happening here, where it's like the reverse. It started out in the big cities, and then they're just like, oh, we got to contain the big city, but then the small cities, like whatever. Oklahoma City, it's all right. New York City. And my buddy actually went to New York, and he said no one cared, like when it first hit. Like when they had the first few cases in New York.
Oh, Corona?
Yeah, no one cared. Like he said people were still bumping into each other, still,
getting on the subway.
Yeah, getting on the subway, still doing whatever.
Yeah.
And I think now, let me look it up. I just saw
this would be the time to upgrade those subway trains, though. I'm just saying.
As of 3 hours ago, New York has more corona cases than South Korea and most of EU.
Right.
And that's in New York City.
It's like 15,000 or something.
Let's click it. Let's click the link. I need space filler, guys. Just talk.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I
9,000.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's you're gonna see in those heavily densely populated areas.
Like Utah don't got that many.
Yeah. I'm about to bounce. Did you see? I'm about to bounce to Cuba. See, I can get to Cuba for a while.
Why would you do that?
hey, they ain't gonna get it.
Their hospital system is definitely not as.
Dude, they got
That's not true.
well, they got all the
No.
sugar
They
water.
have their healthcare system is really, really good, and their doctors are they're flying. You're not seeing this on CNN or BBC or whatever, but they're flying doctors from Cuba to Italy right now to help to take care of these patients because they're one of the best. They're some of the best in the world.
They're sending Chinese.
I'm not a communist. I'm not just like.
Okay.
I'm a communist.
I keep on.
free healthcare.
Yeah.
But no, man, they got sugar water over there in Cuba. And sugar water is gonna help them out. They got the
It's called rum, but okay.
rum.
Speaking of alcohol, you wouldn't have got a 3-day binger.
What do you mean?
Did you? I mean, drinking for a lot. Until 8 o'clock in the morning. How long did you last?
I'm quarantining my innards. All right.
They're sanitized.
No,
sanitized.
I did not drink till 3
but
in the
honestly,
morning.
like well, you were up till about 5:20 the other day. Right?
No, that wasn't me. That text message is not from me.
Dude, there was a text. So Edgar's been quarantining himself,
Yeah,
as we all have.
self-isolation.
Yeah.
Social distancing.
Yeah.
It's easier to social distance for Edgar when he drinks. I received a text message from Edgar at 5:20. It may have sent it before, but it didn't reach
Yeah, it didn't reach it because I didn't send one at 5:20. I sent one at 7:30.
when you woke up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely did not send one
Yeah,
at
I was
5:20.
like, wow,
Yeah.
keeping him up.
That's a little
Has your
aggressive.
alcohol intake gone up since this thing?
Nah, I haven't had a drink since I came here last time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you know it's funny because B, she works from home now. Obviously, she kind of have to. She could never like really cook or bake before, but then like literally every day I wake up, she's like, you want creme brulee? She's like, you want muffins? She's like, you want some coffee cream? I'm like, where the fuck did you learn this? Like Facebook. It's like she just sits at home all day when she's
She's like, I
scrolling
got in
through
a
it.
YouTube show hole, and now me and Betty Crocker are best friends.
Yeah, she said she's gonna come out here going on to that baking championship thing.
She was like, listen,
have
I
you seen
whipped up.
the Great British Bake Off?
Yeah, she's
That
like,
show's fucking good.
She's like, I whipped up a lemon meringue pie just for you. This whole pie? Yes. And you gonna like it too.
and yeah, I feel like I'm gonna come out of this like 15 pounds fat. I'm gonna get the Corona 19 pounds.
Yeah.
I just-
the Corona 19.
It was what is it? The freshman 15.
Yeah.
Right? These are the
it's
Corona 19.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
Yeah, dude, I just made pho last night.
Did you?
Yeah, big old pot.
What kind of meat?
Oxtail and can't remember if it was the shoulder or the hip bone of the cow. Do I call it a cow or is it like an ox?
Well, I mean, you got oxtail and you can say cow. I don't know.
Yeah, but
We
wouldn't
know you
oxtail
gotta-
wouldn't oxtail be a cow tail too?
It's typically comes from an ox, though, right? Like, isn't it?
Ah,
Is it
shit, I don't know. I got it from the
different
Asian
type of
market.
cow?
I got it from the Asian market, man. I don't know what the hell
Listen,
they're putting in
Would you
there.
go to Super G?
Mystery meat.
Yeah, all the way out
How
there.
How busy was Super G Mart when you went there?
Oh, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care at all.
People love Super G Mart.
It's okay. Have you been there?
It's not Super
I've-
H Mart.
We went to Super
Yeah, it's
H
not.
Mart,
It's,
right?
Yeah, it's not Super H Mart.
We went to Super H Mart in Atlanta.
That shit's fucking.
you know
bomb.
H Mart's one tier higher.
Yeah.
Yes. That's like the Whole Foods
Yeah,
of Asian markets.
yeah, it's in the alphabetical order. It's one tier higher. you know?
Oh.
Wait till you get to Z
Have
Mart.
you been to the H Mart
The Z-Mart.
out in California? The H
No.
Mart in California is like a fucking super Walmart, man. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like legit. It's amazing.
This is the one guy you stroll in there and you're like looking for something to eat, and he's like, "Oh, look at this bean milk."
Yeah, the soybean milk. That shit's really good. Have you had that?
He got a
I
whole
can't
pack
have
of
soybean.
The boxes of soybeans. they're
Yeah, I
so
can't
good.
have soybean. I'm allergic.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
clogs my throat. It gives me coronavirus. No, man, like the I don't know what it is, but like Korean markets, even not even just supermarkets, but Korean markets, they always have restaurants, and the restaurants are like usually fucking good. Like the California markets. You guys went to the LA?
No, I went to the
I
Atlanta
went to the
one.
one in Irvine,
Oh.
and I went to the one in Atlanta. Too.
I mean, Atlanta's got a huge Korean
Korean
population,
population,
yeah.
so I mean, I'm assuming that their marketplace
honestly,
restaurant
man,
was good.
if I had to rank Koreatowns, I would rank Atlanta's Koreatown
Number one.
number 3 behind
Oh,
LA and New York
Really,
of the Koreatowns I've been to.
I which one's number one?
LA.
Yeah, easily.
In New York. New York is really good, but it's so small because it's really condensed.
Yeah,
know?
can you even
It's-
call
it's
it a
condensed on,
Koreatown?
Like 34th Street or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I mean, the thing is, like, L.A. is Koreatown, New York, Chinatown.
China. Well, you know the new Chinatown is in Flushing Meadows.
Yeah.
Flushing.
Yeah, Flushing.
Flushing. So that have you seen the Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown when he goes to Flushing?
No.
That's a fucking good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, because it's just basically China going to Chinatown, but it's like a legit Chinatown in New York.
I seen the one where he went to Peru or something.
You as random as that. Did you not watch that show very much?
Well, no. No, I didn't. I don't watch TV that much at all. But that one was. I thought it was funny. Did you know in Peru there's a huge Chinese population?
No,
It's massive.
Yeah, wasn't there? Is that the country
there's
that
Chinese people everywhere, bro.
their president was Japanese?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
There is a huge influence.
yeah,
of
it's massive.
Asians.
They're like the originators of fusion food because they fused, Peruvian and Chinese cuisines.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it good?
and they also have cocaine.
That's true. They
That
do have
good,
cocaine.
that booger
They
sugar.
do
That's
do
that's
that.
their
what I
MSG.
mean?
They don't use MSG. They use cocaine.
That's
They
My
don't
new
use
puppy's named after a cocaine.
Diego.
Yeah, Diego Armando Maradona.
I thought he was named
Wait,
after.
he's not named after cocaine.
No, he's named. Let me finish that sentence.
Yeah.
After one of the biggest connoisseurs of cocaine. in our lifetime.
Just
I
a
thought
little
he was named after
pre-workout.
Dora the
is-
Explorer.
Yours is what?
He
I
thought
thought
it was
he was
named
named
after
after Dora the Explorer.
His
Diego.
cousin?
Yeah.
Her cousin or whatever? No. Yeah. So the one that there's a couple of his that are really good. The one in Flushing, I saw the one that's speaking of oxtail soup, he went to the Bronx in New York.
Oh yeah,
You seen that one?
I saw.
Oxtail's good, man. I was gonna bring some, but then it wasn't as good as I usually make it.
Didn't you make it?
Wait, did you make it?
I did make it, but
Oh,
I
okay.
put a
You've
little too
had
much
better
water.
performances?
Yeah, I put a little too much
Gotcha.
water in, so it was a little bit bland.
Oh, okay.
But
You weren't impressed with your performance.
Yeah,
No.
I am not.
Dude, that's the funniest. That's the funniest quote. I was watching. Man, I've been so bored. I was watching this video on YouTube about God, what was it called? So basically, the premise of it was like top 10 moments, top 10 out of character moments for fighters, and that was like number 2
I
or 3.
saw that.
You saw that?
I saw that
Oh,
fucking
man.
video. Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Do you guys remember that one time it was on The Ultimate Fighter and Dana White was like in front of all the guys? He's like, "No, you don't quit here." He's like, "If any guys leave, we beat them off." I mean,
I remember that. Yeah,
whoa, hey.
we'll beat you off the show. Oh man, dude, there's some golden moments.
So, streaming, I've been watching a lot more shows. I'm trying to get Edgar on some shows, but
Dude, you know what show you should watch?
But I've been
Kingdom.
busy drinking. So
Kingdom
Kingdom.
is it the?
Oh, that's a
is
good
it-
one. That's
is it
the
Viking
yeah.
one.
MMA.
No,
No, that's
uh,
MMA one.
It's MMA.
Wait, maybe we're talking about a different one.
What are you talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about the Korean Kingdom. You're talking
Oh.
about the American Kingdom, where
Yeah.
that show's decent. But no, you have Netflix?
Yes.
Yes.
Get Netflix, dude. Watch Kingdom. It's basically you've seen
All
Walking
subtitles?
Dead, right?
What's up?
You've seen
Is-
Walking Dead.
Yes.
Take
I've
The
seen
Walking Dead.
Parts of it.
Take The Walking Dead. Take the zombie aspect
Mm-hmm.
and put it in medieval Korea.
Oh,
Medieval Korea.
Medieval Korea.
okay.
They just came out with the second season. I
Mm.
I watched it when it first came out about a year ago. Had to wait a whole year for the next season, which came out ironically like a couple weeks ago. And
So I got
man,
binge on 2 seasons.
dude,
right
it's
now.
good.
Really?
It's good. Like,
Is that Game of Thrones as well too, or no?
yeah, it's got
With
aspects
the
of it.
medieval thing.
Yeah,
With like the plotting against, is there plotting and scheming as well too, or no?
yeah. It's pretty dramatic because I don't know if you guys have seen Korean dramas, but they're really freaking dramatic. And you guys are lucky because
Is your girlfriend Korean?
no, she's Chinese.
Hmm.
You guys are lucky because the first season ended on a huge cliffhanger, and literally had to wait a whole year. But now you guys get to just watch
That's
it.
the
They
worst.
got- yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. So speaking
Spoiler alert.
What?
Are you giving a spoiler?
of no,
Okay, I just need to make
with-
sure because you just let
with
those out.
respected platforms like streaming platforms.
Yeah.
As far as content goes, for me, HBO makes the best. Like it just makes the best shows, best documentaries.
Oh,
best,
they're the most established.
yeah, but they also don't put out a lot more. Like Netflix
Yeah, 'cause
puts
they
out
can-
a ton.
They can focus on it.
Yeah, they can focus on really good programming. They're not, so
But you can surf to the end of it
What do you
versus Netflix.
yeah, you can surf to the end of it.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, Netflix, you ain't getting done, right? So, which is to me also, I'm not sitting there wasting time. But because their shows come out week to week,
Mhm.
you have to wait till the next week.
Yeah.
Where Netflix, they just put out the whole season.
Season.
Right? Or Hulu, you have to wait. You have to week to week to week. If it's
Hulu's ass.
I wonder what's the.
Nah, there's some good shows.
Hulu's the little brother of them all.
But no, but Hulu's got some good shows.
I want to know the strategy behind, like the financial strategy behind that. So
Putting
obviously,
them out like one by one.
one by one, like week by week versus the season binge. Like, how does that, for example, if you as a consumer, so if Netflix tells you, hey, you can watch this whole season, or you can take 6 weeks and watch the whole season because you're going to be watching.
Well,
more
I think they're taking more from.
like, do you
'cause
get
Hulu-
more marketing? Is
How
that
much?
what, is that where the money is?
I don't know, but I'm spending more money on HBO. I spend $14 a month on HBO. How much is Netflix?
I think it's up to 12.
Yeah, it's
It's
I
11 or
not-
12,
He's my
yeah.
sister's.
it's
I
close.
ain't-
It's close to it.
Allegedly.
But yeah, that's it. They have less shows, but they can spread it out more so that the numbers still equate, and they're still on TV.
Right.
You know, they still make money off TV.
Versus Netflix is not making any money off TV, aside from shows that used to be on TV that are now on Netflix that
Yeah.
people just, I love The Office playing in the background while I'm cleaning or whatever. So, okay.
And another thing is, HBO's quality of shows are better, so there's more watchability, like rewatchability. Whereas, I mean, I'll be honest, like you guys ever seen You? The Netflix
I've
series?
heard about it a lot.
I've heard about it,
It's
too.
Yeah, but I haven't watched it.
It was good until you watch it again, then it's not as good.
Yeah,
So
I can.
it
I can
degrades
watch
itself.
I can watch The Sopranos over again.
Yeah, but is that a Netflix show?
No, it's on HBO.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Like,
there's
yeah, that's to
rewatchability.
prove your point, as I'm saying.
Yeah, he's on my side.
Yeah. But there.
I'm on the fence. No.
I
Because
mean, there's
listen,
some-
the only reason why I'm on the fence is because like Netflix has financial shows that I like, or financial documentaries that I like. Dirty Money. It's got 2 seasons, and it's just like it's a docuseries that digs deep into like financial
Docuseries-
crime, which I love.
Yeah. Which could you do?
I don't do financial crime.
I mean, you investigate. So, yeah.
Yeah,
For the record,
we
let
don't
the
have to talk
record
about what we
show-
do here.
Yeah.
The show that I'm watching right now on HBO that I'm into majorly is Succession. That's like Game of Thrones meets corporate greed America.
Mm.
Really, really well done. Lot of like,
But are there swords and titties?
no. Are there titties? You know what? I haven't seen titties. I have not. You know what's on?
There's a heavyset male.
Yeah, those are still titties.
Yeah. I watched a couple shows of Insecure. It's kind of like Black Six in the City. Jamal got me on it, and
Of course he did.
yeah. But I'm like, why am I watching?
Did he
this?
get you on Atlanta, or you got on Atlanta? And got
No,
him on
I got
Atlanta?
on Atlanta myself. I
Okay.
just was like, fuck it, I'm watching this.
It's like I've been there enough.
Man,
Yeah,
Atlanta.
honestly, I watched I saw like I was on YouTube and I saw Charles Gambino freestyle a couple times. It was like, yeah, he's pretty good. And then I watched him do like stand up comedy. I was like, man, this guy's really talented. And then I've obviously seen him in a couple movies and that Star Wars movie that he was in. I was like, man, this guy's fucking talented. Let me give him a shot as like a writer, director, movie producer, and or show producer, and then actor. And that man, I've been pleasantly surprised. That show's good.
Man, he's like the true form of Renaissance man for entertainment.
Fuck yeah,
'Cause he
man,
could
that
do
guy
everything.
is Anything.
He came off a new album.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
I think
that.
it took him like a week to make it.
Man, hey, I'll give it a listen. I
Yeah.
do like him. I like him a lot. He's a funny
It's-
guy.
Yeah, man. Ever since he came out with Freaks and Geeks, I think like 2012 or something.
Was that
like
good?
Way back in the that was a good album. I mean,
Now's the time to get back in the rap game, I'm in.
Now is the time to get back in the rap game.
what's your rap
Can
name?
we slowly turn this into a studio?
What's your rap name? What's your handle?
I don't know. I got to come up with them. But
Dude, I actually have one.
what is it?
So you guys ever watch A-Team?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
The van,
no, what's
face.
Mr. T.
Mr. T? You know what his character's name was?
B.A. Baracus.
Yeah, my name was B.A. Baracus because this is like a spoof group called the Super Gucci Bears. So everyone had a bear in their name. Mine was B.A. Baracus.
Okay.
Did you rap?
No,
He's more of a Mike's audio.
I just
guy.
wanted the
He's the
name.
hype man.
He's like,
Yeah. Be in the background.
Yo 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 yo.
yeah.
I could totally do it too. I'm loud. I'm obnoxious.
Have you guys been eating at home a lot more lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told you I made pho.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said,
Just like
Edgar's
Max,
been drinking.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But
He's drinking right now.
have you gone like takeout at all? Like, people have been
I did
support.
order pizza.
I ordered pizza
online
one
for
day.
the first time in like 6 months, probably plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hadn't ordered pizza in a long time.
Where'd you go?
We went with Domino's. I like the Philly cheesesteak pizza they got.
Oh, yeah.
Something about it.
No,
I got
man.
Shimon Tony's Pizza around here, though. It's pretty damn good.
Isn't Tony's the one that makes like the
Big ass motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
24 inch or something.
Fuck,
Yeah,
bro.
like
shit
you
was-
literally have to go inside with like
Yeah.
angle the box.
Yeah,
just to get
it's
through.
delicious. It's really good.
That's how big I want to get. I want to walk sideways through doors.
Yeah.
No, I haven't been out eating. I just trying to save money on top of the whole
Yeah.
self isolation shit.
Well, when you close on a house, I
Yeah.
quit eating out as much when I was closing on a house too.
When it's built, yeah, we'll close on it, which probably won't be for a long ass time. But
Yeah, but
Yeah,
still,
still gotta
you're
save
working
money.
towards it.
yeah,
The one thing I do like, similar to what Max said earlier, is like I wake up, I go downstairs to the office, I log on, and all of a sudden my wife comes down, she goes to the kitchen, and I'm answering emails, getting on my conference call in the morning. She's like, "Do you want breakfast?" Yeah. And then
Did
she
you
comes
get the
back. It's like
Corona-19,
2
man?
sunny side up eggs with like a protein pancake
Yeah.
and a coffee. And I was like, "What in the? Who are you?" But I was like, "Yes!" Like almost every day.
that's what's gonna happen, man. The 19 pounds,
Look at
you're just gonna get it.
You guys, I'll stay the same size because I'm single.
Well, you got Shimon now.
There you go.
Shimon, I'll tell you what, that guy gets up really early to go
Really?
to work. Yeah, he goes to work at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Woo.
Yeah, he's
People still drink
I'm-
their soda. That
Dude,
guy
yeah,
he's a
works for
stalker.
Pepsi.
I'm
Yeah.
dead to the world at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
unless I've been partying, then I'm still up. But
Mhm. I ease into my morning. I've been working from home like for the past since June, so it's nothing new to me. But I've been trying. It's weird
To get a routine.
since
Yeah.
Corona.
Yeah.
I've been wearing jeans and a dress shirt to work now.
like in your house,
Well, yeah, because everybody else at the office is working remote, and so they're gonna like work remote, and this is how you can stay in touch with your coworkers. You know, make sure you're doing WebEx and video, and you can see each other. And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna like look at him. I've been calling in my sweats. And
he's
stuff.
over here in a Mizzou sweatshirt.
Yeah, now I was like, now I gotta up my game. So I've been getting up, getting ready and dressed to go to work.
Just
and
get
stuff
what are
like
those
that.
things called? Dickies or whatever. It's like a
Yeah, the
turtleneck.
Yeah,
Dickies.
well, I got plenty of dress shirts like hanging out. I'm like, oh
Yo,
shit, I'll just
wear your suit rash guard and be like,
Dude,
wow, you dressed
Just
up
get
for
a
this-
cardboard
Exactly.
cutout. Get a cardboard cutout of a guy in a suit and just
Yeah.
cut the face out, and then put your head on it. I'm here, guys.
this
a
is
green
just-
screen. Just get a green
Yeah, green
screen.
screen.
This is
Wear a green shirt every day.
After I put another TV hanging in the wall in my office, I'm like sitting there watching TV while I'm working.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's just freaking ridiculous.
Hmm.
I mean, I feel like you're getting work done, obviously, because you've been working from home. But do you get work done?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, wow.
let's just be.
Now-
Well, you have an
Well, so
office though.
I've got a lot more work.
Yeah,
done.
in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a lot more work done in the past month and a half. than I
You know
have.
why?
Yes.
Because you have to get dressed.
No, probably 2 months. I'd say the past 2 months. I'd say I've been
Social distancing.
social media distancing.
There you go.
The only social media platform. Well, I use LinkedIn for work, but I deleted my Facebook and I deleted my Instagram account. I am now formally known as the artist of Instagrammer.
Yeah, it's at Instagrammer. you
I mean, I have everything. I don't have a Facebook. I haven't had a Facebook in years, which is great. But I mean, I have a Twitter that I don't use, and I have an Instagram that I don't use. I only use Instagram to like send memes.
Yeah.
And
I'm really waiting. I was like, I want to feel good about not like having to say something to somebody about not having Facebook, because somebody's gonna be after this coronavirus shit all goes away, and you're in a social situation. Well, look, you're on Facebook. I'll look you up. I was like, actually, I'm not on Facebook. You can't find me.
Oh, you're waiting for that.
Yeah, I want to
then-
be able to say that. Be like, oh, actually.
no, see, you should play around it. Be like, what's Facebook?
The book face.
The book face.
Sorry.
It's like, what's Facebook? I'm from Egypt. We don't have that.
What's the?
He is from Egypt.
I know we do. We have Facebook over there. Shema. So,
What was it? What?
what's the social media platform in
China?
China?
Weibo.
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 Yeah, I think it's Weibo. Hang on. Face for the guy.
I have a puppy, guys.
Yeah, he's doubled in size in a matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
When was the last time you saw him?
When you
We
got
picked
him?
him up?
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
picked
Yeah,
him
it
up.
is. It is
and he was-
Weibo.
It's like 6 pounds now. He's what, 21?
He's probably 20 pounds right now.
20 pounds? Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, did you sanitize your hands yet?
Make sure you wash your
I
hands.
think you touching my knuckle for.
Come on, man.
Thanks, Shimon.
Get this hand sanitizer. Hey, sanitize that bottle too.
No, you got to take the top off.
Yeah, remember?
I'm gonna wash my hands.
Oh yeah, that's a smarter thing to do.
Yeah.
It's better to wash your hands.
I just drink this. That's the best way to go.
See, I've been doing the same thing, just not with that.
Right.
You put some flavor in it.
Yeah. No, but so now I've been able to, in the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, like go through my collection of bourbons or ryes or whiskeys that I have. But I'm able to, before it's like, hey, I'll drink one, 2 ounces or 3 ounces, like every 4 to 6 days. And then now it's just the past couple days. I'm like, well, I haven't had this one, and I've had this bottle for like 2 years, and I've never opened it.
How much does that less of working from home more to do with not being able to kind of go and do some things that you want to do at night and leave and go
100%.
Yeah, so like
the work from home doesn't play a role in it.
You're not drinking on the job.
Yeah, no. It's really like missing jujitsu and not like I can either sit on the couch and watch shows or I can't because even the gym in my neighborhood was closed. They were just like, hey. Like,
they closed that one too, the complex?
Yeah. So I can't even go there. So it's like we hit the trail a couple times and like my kettlebell and weights, but how much time does that take up?
So,
right?
Check this out. There's something you guys should take a look at. It's called it's a method of exercise called natural movement. And there's this company branded it. It's called MoveNat. MoveNat. So they do.
What's the difference between that and Gymnastia Natural?
It's really similar. They do a lot of similar things to Gymnastia Natural, but they basically do a lot of exercising in the woods when you're walking and like things that you can do to basically get picking up a rock the right way to like
So Tony Ferguson.
I haven't seen Tony Ferguson.
It's gonna be kind of.
I
listen. So you got me walking through the greenway just picking up rocks.
Picking up rocks, but
sir, could you please put that down? This is the greenway.
Just YouTube natural movement exercise. It's like they do like it's a company called MoveNat, and they've kind of like created workouts for people to work out outside and do things like to get fit while they're outside. So this is great, and they do a lot of like push-ups and some calisthenics too. But
just regular calisthenics.
Yeah.
But to get back to your question, like I spend, let's say, jiu-jitsu class starts at 7:30, so I get there around 7:50. But like from 7 to 7:30 till about 9:30, right? What is that? 2 hours?
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours. I mean, sometimes we're there till 10. That time frame, not only does it get me tired, but it's 3 hours that I'm doing something or I'm with other folks.
Plus you gotta do laundry.
You're not even thinking about anything else.
Not even thinking about it. Now. Those 3 hours. Before it was 2 hours before I had to go to jiu-jitsu. Now it's like I have the rest of the evening every day at home.
Try another bourbon.
This is the hard part. It's like for me, because I have collected, I have bottles that were gifted to me that I have just never tried because I just don't get around to it. I have another bottle that I'm working on or 2 ounces here and there. So it's like I've never tried it. So now is giving me the opportunity.
I don't think Shamal can pull out.
Can you pause?
No, you guys can keep going.
Okay.
Right. So that is the main. I mean, like it's a pro and a con. It's obviously a pro because now I'm getting to like a bottle that I got 3-4 years ago as a gift for Christmas,
right?
And I'm finally getting a chance to taste it, right? And then also whenever I have, which I haven't had many people, will come visit me. And then I'll be like, hey, would you like to do a tasting? We'll do half an ounce of this, half an ounce of that, half an ounce of that, and we get a taste, and then that just starts a conversation, different palates, what the person likes, doesn't like, and we go from there.
How are you missing jiu-jitsu?
100%. No. I don't know if I'm missing more. Like I'm definitely missing the training itself, like the actual like physical portion, but also the camaraderie. You don't have.
You miss the homies.
You definitely miss the homies. I mean, you always have the camaraderie. I mean, like we can always, not right now, but you can always get together, such as come to your house and hang out. But it's just not the same where like everybody knows that at 7:30 you're gonna be in the same place together doing the same thing. Whether it's a different technique, right? But like we're all there for the same purpose.
Right.
And I'm getting cabin fever on that end. But I'm not sure if I'm getting cabin fever to the point of like, hey, let's 6 of us get together and train in the basement.
So I've done. So let's just be honest. I've done a group of 3 training and a group of 4 training.
Yeah.
With
in your basement?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so the off hours, like where you do it. Just
like what Max said, when there's like some gyms that just have like the top tier athletes or like specific members that go in or whatever. I'm cool with that. What I wouldn't be a part of is like, hey, let's come to the basement and start drilling.
No, I'd rather just meet you at the gym.
Yeah.
And then disinfect it.
Right.
So yeah, no, I definitely.
But I miss it.
I do. I miss the training like every day. I miss like it being part of like who it. But to be honest, like now you get. I don't want to be the person who's just sitting there binging watching shows all the time. Yeah. So I'm trying, and then luckily the weather's been pretty nice, so you can kind of get outside and do some other stuff. But whether it's reading a book,
sure.
I actually have started cleaning out the garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. The hidden positives I'll say of this like forced isolation is, your hands are getting a chance to heal, your knees are getting a chance to heal, like your body's just getting a chance to like not get beat up every day. Because there's some people that have that like mental block that they're just like, I don't care how much pain I'm in, I'm going to training, right? Which is fine. I mean, hey, do you?
Right.
But like now you're forced into isolation. You're forced into like, hey, let your knuckles, heal up, let your knees heal up, let your shoulder, whatever it is, inflammation go down. I'm doing that every evening, but.
Does bourbon really help us? I thought you were just bullshitting. Was it like what is it? What is? I didn't get that inflammation part. Is that a troll? Or
it definitely is a troll. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to Google it, but I believe.
I think alcohol doesn't help with inflammation, right?
It promotes gout, so probably not.
Right.
So I wouldn't think so. I think any sort of alcohol just makes inflammation worse.
Inflammation worse.
That's the.
But what I will say is, I don't know if you guys have either heard this or seen this or whatever. Like, and this is not a good statistic, but folks that do end up getting a DUI or are drinking and driving and do get into an accident, they tend to not have as many injuries as someone who's. That by no means am I saying drink and drive.
That is
but
true.
They'll have many injuries because their body is in a such like relaxed state. It's loose. Yeah.
Flaccid.
So they're not.
That's the correct word.
Yeah. So they're not getting the similar injuries that someone who's like hyper alert.
Yeah.
But that's more
horrible statistic. But
it more has to do with because the same effect happens when you're asleep. If you got in a crash when you're asleep, because your body is not reacting to the situation.
Right.
Whereas when you're awake and
you're talking about like you were asleep in the back of a car or something like that.
Yeah, even in the front, which has happened where people fall asleep at the wheel and they get in a crash with someone else. The other person is way more injured because they
tense up.
Yeah, they tense up, and not even if they don't see it coming, the body knows it's coming.
So Edgar, you didn't know me back then, but I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I got hit head on by a drunk driver.
I thought he was joking.
Like, yeah, 100%. I was so fucking scared.
He just called me up. He's like, "Hey man, can you come pick me up?" And I was like, "Pick you up?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm over here by your house." I think do you guys just left my house? No,
I actually drove back to my house. I was able to drive my car, coincidentally. I think you met me in my house. Maybe I'm not sure.
No, because I was there when I saw the cars.
Oh, you met us there.
Yeah.
But I still drove to my house. You followed me.
I followed you home.
Yeah, you followed
just
me
in
home.
case the car blew up.
In case it just kind of couldn't make it. So, basically, some guy on Park Road, it was like busy late Saturday afternoon, early evening.
Had a puppy in his lap,
on
right?
a beautiful day. He had a dog, but he was drunk. He was hammered, and he'd already had 3 DUIs. So, and he didn't have insurance.
The story gets better, Max.
Yeah, didn't insurance. My insurance, I didn't know, but basically, I'm not sure if it was I didn't know if I had to sign some piece of paperwork and I didn't sign it, so it kind of lapsed. But they work with me and they figured out and they gave me the liability coverage and they just refixed everything. But I was freaking out because, at the time I had a girlfriend with me and man, I was tense. The only thing I hurt. Because I put my hand across.
You wanted last more cup.
What?
You wanted one more feel.
Yeah. I put my hand across to kind of brace because he kind of he was veering into like I was in the all the way in the
So you were like, if this is the end, I'm at least making it to second
I was
base.
in the. It was a 4-lane, right?
Yeah.
So I was in the left-hand lane, driving a little faster, and so he was all the way. He was in the left-hand lane, going the other way. He veered, so I veered to the right, but he kept on veering towards the right. So I moved away, so that I didn't want to. Then all of a sudden I went back to the left lane, and then that's as soon as he woke up and he's like, "Oh shit, where am I doing?" He reared right back into me. Luckily, I think he was going about 35 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and he was driving a smaller car than my 4Runner, and so it just freaked me out. But anyway.
Speak about the text you received a couple days later.
Oh, I remember it. What was this text?
So the gentleman, they exchanged numbers, and the gentleman apparently thought he was texting either his friend or his family member to either get him out of jail or something. I don't remember the exact text. So if you can,
that night. I don't remember. Was it like he was like, I can't.
It's like, dude, I only had a couple shots, and this and that. We're like, wait a second. So you did drink, and you had shots, and a couple of them.
And then I texted him back, and I was like, hey man, you should probably stop texting me this stuff. I'm the guy that you hit. He thought it was somebody else.
Awkward.
You should have kept it going, and then after you've gotten enough information.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, so when did you realize that?
So what's your last name?
Right. It was fucked up. But anyway,
when were you born?
Yeah.
The messed up part. I think you were there because when I got home and I parked my car, it was back in Cotton Lane. And I parked my truck right in front of the house, and it was all fucked up.
Yeah.
And the neighbor kids were like all
staring at it,
like they all because they brought a bunch of their friends and
they just wanted to be like, dang, your shit get fucked up.
And then I was like,
y'all want to say that about?
I was like, you guys want to keep on fucking looking?
Yeah,
I went off.
I was
on
like,
the little kids.
dude, I was like, Ahmed, relax, get in the house, bro.
Dude,
I was like, if I find your parents, I'm choking them all.
I got hit by a drunk driver once.
Oh yeah,
but
fucking crazy.
No, so here's the craziest thing. I'm driving home. This is like 2 in the morning. I'm driving home, and I had been drinking, but not a lot. Maybe I had like a beer. And so I'm driving home on the highway, and I see this car do this crazy maneuver. And this is like I want to thank God that I had such fast reflexes at that moment, because it was literally like maybe 2 cars in front of me, like not actual cars, but 2 car spaces.
Lengths,
yeah, car lengths. This motherfucker goes to the left and immediately veers to the right really sharp just to come back in.
Oh.
And so I had enough time to react just slightly to turn just a little bit to where he just kind of like gave me this really sharp turn tap, like a pit maneuver tap. So I started just like, it didn't, like if I hadn't moved, if I hadn't moved, it would have pretty much taken my car out.
Right.
But I moved just enough to where I fishtailed, and I was like,
kept going.
Yeah, I
what
just kept going.
To him?
I think he hit another car.
At that moment, he was in the rear.
He hit another car because there's another car behind.
So
him.
his car did end up just
and like my first thought was, keep driving, just don't stop, because I was like, oh man, I should stop. I should help him. Like I should get his information because my car got hit, and then I'm like, wait,
you had something to drink?
Yeah, I was like, wait, that's not a good idea. Let me just go home.
Yeah.
So I went home. I texted everyone. Was like, yo, I just got hit, and it's like, what? I knew you had too much to drink. I'm like, I had 1 beer, and first of all, he hit me.
Yeah, I know.
Freaking crazy, man.
So you don't know he was drunk, but you just assumed.
Yeah, I just assumed, because who does that?
Yeah.
Because there was an exit right before that. That's where I went off.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed that he wanted to go that exit, but then realized it was trees and just came back out.
I never understood why some folks just like, I can't miss this exit. There's like another exit, I don't know, 10 miles ahead, 5 miles ahead, like bust a UE, come back around. Like, it's definitely worth it versus like going across 3 lanes.
I'm going to fucking throw a wrench in this motherfucker.
Ooh, you
because Ahmed does
What'd
that.
You do? Oh, wow.
No,
he doesn't even use turn signals.
No, I'm just saying I'm going to throw a wrench in this. I think
that's a fact.
I think the obvious, due to this corona, social distancing and isolation that we're doing, we're probably going to see a number of car accidents go down.
Oh, yeah.
And a number of drunk driving accidents, because we were just talking about drunk drivers hitting people. Like, people ain't going out and drinking and driving. They're not hitting people.
Yeah, the bars are closed.
The bars are closed. They're not. You're probably just going to see like less claims and stuff like that. Just which is good or bad. But I'm just saying that's probably going to skew a lot of research. Or
there is, I would say, because of it, there's a lot of like random positives, like the in Italy, the water's now clear in the canals.
Animals are coming
you
back.
can see the fish, the swans coming back. And you're like, what?
dolphins in
Yeah.
the river.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, that's a positive that you didn't really foresee, sort of. I mean, like, you know that if this doesn't get used, then it's gonna.
Well, that's like a simulation. That's like a simulation of what could happen if we all
Right.
just died.
Right.
Right.
You know,
right,
if we all just disappeared. They would come back like the next day. You know, they're probably just waiting in their holes. Like, there's probably like a freaking raccoon right under there, just waiting, waiting for you to go to sleep. Like, oh, they're gone.
I'm out of here. I mean, what other in the U.S.? What aside from that, the example you just gave, like, what other positives would you say? I mean, my honey-do list is down to like 2 or 3 tasks. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Which is a positive because it was a long list.
I think you're gonna see. I think you're gonna for sure see more. Probably like more core family time for people who like have families. They're just gonna spend more time. I don't. You know, I've talked to friends who travel for a lot for their work, and they're seeing their kids more often. Right? That's probably definitely a benefit for people who don't get to see their families as much as if they're working they travel. all the
There's
time to
also
work.
now more direct correlation, like appreciation, actually, for teachers.
Yeah.
And I noticed it because my wife is
Sure,
a teacher,
for
and she's
sure.
like,
Yeah.
you know, now parents that have 2 or 3 kids that, hey, they drop off every morning at 7:30 and pick up at 3:30, and
Right.
you know, for that amount of hours, and they're like, wait a second, I got to do my job, and now also like
Take care of kids.
take care of my kids, and like give them works, and so they're busy.
Right.
It's just, yeah,
You're gonna see. Yeah. You're.
I mean, speaking of the family thing, there was I don't know if it's a statistic or not, but one city or town or something in China got unquarantined, and like immediately there's a huge influx of divorces. There's like a huge influx.
Fuck you, bitch! I'm out.
The other
God
thing,
damn,
that's
finally.
like, yo, who's gonna have a quarantine baby? Just keep out,
Yeah.
keep an eye, keep a watch out for
A
like
friend of mine
3
was-
months from now. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
congratulations.
a friend of mine was just like I was talking to him yesterday. He's 5 kids. I was like, dude, you're probably gonna have number 6 after this shit. So yeah,
Or he's gonna stay 5, but he's gonna have a new one. You know,
Yeah.
He's just killed one of them.
no, so speaking of maybe I think probably other benefits. I bet you will see, at least for the short term, for this isolation, next 3 months or whatever it is, like however long we're doing this, you'll see definitely a steep decline in like violent crime.
Yeah, there's not people out there.
Yeah.
Unless like families are fucking each other up.
Yeah, or like random looting.
I don't think that's.
I don't think we'll see
I don't
that
think
much
we're going to see
looting.
that just yet. I think you'll see that when like really shit hits the fan.
Yeah,
You know, but I don't. Hopefully we don't get to that
Yeah.
point. But I'm saying to you, yeah, I think
like
that
we
just-
won't see Katrina looting.
Yeah, you won't see like
That was crazy.
like speaking of like I'm talking about people drinking and going out.
Oh,
like,
okay,
you're not
yeah.
going to go out and like, you know, people.
So does that mean car insurance rates are going to go down?
What is it?
Or does that mean car insurance rates are going to go down?
I think car insurance rates will definitely go down.
I think mortgage rates go down too.
Mortgage rates
Oh,
definitely.
yeah,
they have
'cause
already
now
gone
it's-
down. I
that's
just refinanced my home.
Yeah,
I'm,
'cause
I'm in the process of it.
Didn't the Fed just like lower it? It's almost to zero.
Zero to
Cost of
2
borrowing money.
0.25. How like, but if you have a mortgage already at whatever 4%, you're not going to drop down to
Yeah,
0.25.
no.
But I bet car insurance, gas is cheap as fuck out there. Y'all see that?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's super
On
cheap.
top of that, I get my gas at Costco, so it's even cheaper.
How much is the Costco?
For premium, it comes down to it's close to $2.
Okay, I'll be going to South Carolina. I can always fill up one in Rock Hill. I'm gonna have to figure out another way to get South Carolina.
It's under $2, right? For
It's
regular,
over in South Carolina. Yeah, it's like $1.89.
$1.89.
I think another big positive that probably won't last very long is the appreciation for nature.
Yes.
For what?
That's huge. Appreciation for nature.
Yeah, for
People
sure.
are missing it. You
Yeah.
know, they want to go to the parks and stuff now. They want to go like, you know, and travel too.
Right.
People are going to want to travel more. They're going to decide like, this is the time. You know,
Yeah.
Especially-
Road trip.
yeah. People like millennials, like people like my age, they're going to
Yeah.
be like,
They're going to travel during this time.
after.
After,
I think
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
But
Or like life could cut short.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because like
No.
everybody's like the Grand Canyon's always going to be there, and it's like, yeah, but you might not be.
You might not
So
be,
let's go ahead and get
Yeah.
there.
Grand Canyon ain't going nowhere. homie.
Have you been there?
Yeah. I've never
I've
been.
never been there.
It's not that great.
No.
Really?
You ever seen the movie? God, it's Guilt Trip with Seth Rogen, and he basically like the premise of it is the
Is
main
it a
character.
rom-com? No.
No, it's with his mom. I hope it's not a rom com. But the main character takes his mom on a road trip
Okay.
because he feels bad. You know, they don't hang out as much anymore or whatever. They go to Grand Canyon and they're like, all happy, and like there's like a montage, and they're like, "Are you done?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done." It's like, "How long were we here?" About 5 minutes. It's so true, dude. When I went,
Yeah.
take a couple pictures, you walk around, you
Wait,
realize.
so you didn't do the rim to rim? You didn't like?
No, we
hike
walked
or
it.
anything?
You realize
Yeah.
that the further down you go, the hotter it gets.
Yeah, because
And it was already 100 degrees.
It's like 5 different ecosystems or whatever.
Yeah, it was already 100 degrees at the top.
Yeah,
And
I'd
so
rather go to like Yellowstone, or
that is
Zion National Park in Utah is great.
I don't want to go to Zion.
So this
I have
is-
a trip to Utah that may get canceled in October.
My father-in-law used to work at the Grand Canyon.
Really?
So like, dude, he was a
What did you collect rocks?
no, he's a bird watcher actually.
Jeez.
And then he also fought fires. So
okay.
it's like,
well, you should have started with that.
is that? So like, he has a more like intimate knowledge of the Grand Canyon. So I'm like, that's why I'm eager to go, because I'm like, yo, I want to know where.
You tell
nooks
you all
and
the secret
crannies.
spots.
Yeah, but he's also gonna be like, yo, keep up. I'm like, God dang,
Yeah,
I don't got this kind of cardio.
I gotta go travel now. This is done after this. After this, I gotta go somewhere.
Listen, this
China.
Matt, this is an argument we not always have, but whenever
Not an argument.
it's not an argument. Well,
Debate.
It's more like berating. Where's that?
He's always like, I want to travel more. I want to travel more. I was like, all right, man. Hey, get it on the books. You know, book a ticket or whatever you have to do to like hold yourself accountable to like, hey, I don't want to lose this $500 or whatever, whatever it is. And he's like, you know where I want to go, man? Where? Cuba. I want to go to Cuba. I'm like, come on, man.
I do want to
Like,
go to Cuba,
dude.
I think we already mentioned that. I want to go to
Yeah,
Cuba.
that was like, pick Utah, pick Nevada, pick, I don't know, another state that you can actually go to.
Oh well, hold on.
Or another country
I
that you
need to go
can
to another
legally
coun-
go
I
to
need-
versus let me go
Yeah.
to Cuba.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get that. I want to go to Cuba.
Like, he went to Puerto Rico, had a grand old time, and
That
I was
fun
like,
as hell.
do it again, right?
Yeah.
I want to go to Puerto Rico again.
You want to go to Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
again?
shit's fun as hell. I think I'm. Yeah, you know that kind of made me want to like. Oh, I want to go to Cuba, but I was like, I thought, 3 years
Before
ago.
all this, though,
3 years ago, we could have gone to Cuba.
Before all this, I would say probably like 2 months ago, probably 3 months ago, we were all like, dude, we gotta go to Italy, bro. We gotta go to Italy.
gotta go to Italy.
And then like literally now we're just like, you know what?
I don't know if I can handle
I
it.
don't think we'll go there ever.
Probably closest I'll get is Olive Garden, and that's not even Italian. So
No,
So,
Carrabba's, man. Carrabba's.
yeah, girl. Maggiano's maybe for a little flair.
Their population's pretty old, by the way.
Who? Italy?
Yeah, they're. I just.
It's the wine and cheese. It keeps them young.
Well, there's this saying
Well,
that,
not
that
anymore.
that could be the reason they're also seeing higher death rates than China is because they have a high elderly population.
Which is
Yeah.
interesting because the news was like, you know, the reason why China is having so many deaths is because like everybody's a smoker, which I said that before, but
Yeah.
like, almost everybody's a smoker. And so that already compromises your ability to breathe. So then on top of that, you then get flu-like symptoms, which makes it even worse. It's just,
Well, but they also like, let's just face it, China, like the government like basically forced lockdown people, and
Oh, yeah.
in Italy, like the government was strongly suggesting people to self isolate, and they were like
They were
plaza-
doing enough to not lose.
Yeah, the plaza exactly. The plaza in Rome was like pack, whatever they call that
Yeah.
thing is.
so let me bring this controversial topic. So in China, the government's like, yo, stay in your crib,
Mhm.
right? So, but if the government here does that and says, hey, stay in your crib,
I mean, they
folks are
essentially
gonna
have.
be like, no, this is not a what do you call it? I'm not gonna let the government tell me what to do,
Unless they pull martial law,
which everybody's afraid of,
which everybody is afraid of who's a prepper,
right?
Yeah.
So like, but so
which we know a lot of those people.
yeah.
So do you think in a case like this, like obviously if it keeps growing and expanding and duplicating, triplicating, like is martial law the right way to go?
I hope.
I think
that's
that's-
the point.
Yeah. I think that's like plan D.
Yeah, that's like if that again comes down like if you see like looting and stuff like
Yeah.
I feel like martial law is like at that point really
Because I know you've seen, I don't know who, if you guys have seen, but like the National Guard is moving into, is Baltimore, right? Baltimore or New York?
Yeah, but they're
New
building
Jersey, in
hospitals,
that area?
right?
Right. That, I mean, but like everybody's like even news outlets are picking it up. Like, look, there's tanks on this, and what do they need a tank for?
watch
And
that
stuff, like-
fucking After Truth
Oh
documentary,
my
dude.
gosh.
Watch that After Truth documentary. It's the same shit. People get bent out of shape when they see the military building a base in their town. They're like, what are they going to do over here? You
I mean,
know?
also the thing is, so my girlfriend's grandma still lives over in China,
Mhm.
and they had this, quote unquote martial law where you can't leave your home. And she's like 80 something years old. Motherfucker just walked out the door, just went for walks every day. And like, I shit you not, the military go up to her and like, ma'am, you have to go home. And she's like, I can do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do. I'm older than you, blah, blah. And they're like, man, please, just we'll take you home, but you have to stay home. The next day, same shit happens again. She'll walk back outside. They'll be like, ma'am, you can't keep doing this. She's like I'll do whatever I want. It's not as.
But she really did, basically.
Yeah, it's not as totalitarian as everyone thinks it is. But I get what you're saying.
I bet they would, if your ass like walked out, they'd be like, get the fuck out inside.
Dude,
bro.
I'd probably be one of the soldiers. As soon as I walked outside, they put a hat on.
Yeah. You ever felt 3,000 volts go through your body? No? You want to?
Yeah.
Like, go over there. Quarantine that area. Hell yeah.
I'm
Yes,
like, how
sir.
can I help?
Nah, man. But yeah, it's just God. If we did go into martial law here, it would be pretty fucked up. I would say so, because that's like our version of martial law is a lot worse than anywhere else, I think. Just because we're a little bit more
There's a lot of conspiracy theorists too here. I feel like it's just like I don't know. If that gets to that point where I really hope it doesn't ever get to that point. And I hope I don't think it will, but
Do you think when we come out of this that we're gonna learn from it?
fuck yeah.
The country.
Yeah, I think we will.
Not just the people, the country.
I think you mean the government?
The government.
I think people will probably vote differently.
You think so?
Yeah, man. I think that people have to like if shit gets worse, where people are losing their homes and stuff like that, and like you're not able to pay your bills, or in like a large amount of people are doing that, or people can't afford health care, or they're getting sick and they can't go to the hospital because it's a $30,000 bill. You're going to see people upset for sure. And I'm talking about your people in rural America, urban America, doesn't matter. Like just your working class. They're gonna change the way that they think about things. Everything out there, all asking about is like basically it's Medicare for all.
Yeah, which I think is the right thing to do. But do you think we're gonna be more prepared? Is the question I'm trying to ask? Is like, do you think the next time something like this happens, the next big pandemic happens, will we be able to tackle it faster and better?
I think so, yes.
You think so?
I think so, yes, because I think some of whatever's lacking now is now going to make new industry.
Listen, I know you got a lot of. Listen, I'm just
for all the listeners out there.
I gotta
put it out
say
there.
this, right? If we're like we're in a shit situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it is, and I know you probably got people who listen to your show who are both ends of like different ends of the political spectrum. Probably you have some people on the right wing, you probably have some people on the left wing, and I may piss people off on the right wing when I say this, but we probably have the worst person to be in charge doing this shit right now. Easily the worst person in charge. The person who fired like the 2018 pandemic team for no fucking reason at all, and he had full reason to understand how to deal. Like how he had full knowledge of this thing happening well before it did, and didn't act appropriately and called it a hoax and all these things, right?
Yeah.
So we're in this situation, and do I think that we'll learn from it as a country? Yeah, I hope we will if we have the right people in charge, right?
Yeah.
That's the point I'm talking about. Is like people will vote differently, hopefully, but in the other part of this is like our people are kind of finally seeing like how absurd this shit is, that we can kind of get back to where, you know what, dude, I don't have a problem like with the fact that you believe something completely differently politically. You're still my friend, and I'm gonna disagree with you. And I think, but we're still and we're gonna still break bread together. Right now that shit ain't happening in America, right? But I think that when they see the level of absurdity there is on one end of the spectrum, you'll see more folks be like, all right, you know what? This motherfucker can disagree with me, and this I don't understand. I don't agree with him in terms of whatever these rights or that rights or Medicare for all, but guess what? I can at least agree with him on this side. We're in this together, and we got to get out of this together. And so hopefully, and I think America back like in the 80s and maybe even the 90s, you had family members who weren't like ostracizing themselves
Yeah.
because of political differences.
Yeah.
I hope we can get back to that type of like, you're never going to have everybody think the same, and we shouldn't be thinking the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's been dawning on me a little bit. I was like, man, I've been seeing a lot more people call it out for what it is. It's like, damn, that motherfucker's pretty goddamn stupid. What the fuck did he just say? And then they're on the other end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm offending.
No.
You. I know you love Trump.
No, see,
Edgar definitely does.
in all honesty, that I agree. I also think we're being run by an idiot. And not just an idiot, but also just, I don't even know the word for it, but like literally the other day I was watching the news, which I really shouldn't be doing because I get hot-headed.
Yeah.
But
you gotta take time off. I'm on my time
So-
off right now.
Well, drop kick your TV now.
Yeah.
he was saying
Listen,
that,
Edgar helped me wean me off it. To be honest with you,
but he was saying that he reacted first. That he was the one trying to get more information and trying to get quarantine going and whatever, and it's just like, no, you weren't. You know? And
Yeah.
it's- The biggest thing to me is one guy can say it, sure. One guy can be the idiot, sure. But then when you let the idiot be an idiot,
you're just getting
is he the idiot or are you the idiot?
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's the old the emperor has no clothes type thing.
yeah,
And
exactly.
people just like go. Have you heard that? Or people just kind of go with it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And
it's-
we're in that situation.
You know, and it's like,
I think you're seeing less people just agree to whatever he's saying right now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get that. But then I don't think there's going to be a political change, and I don't think that we're going to be more prepared next time. I just don't think so.
What makes you believe that?
Because we have had multiple pandemics in the just the 21st century alone. We've had like what?
In America?
Yeah, that have reached America.
Ebola and what else?
Ebola, Zika, swine flu, bird flu, and SARS. And I guess if you put it back even more and bring in other types of diseases, AIDS. All these kinds of diseases that where they're like, oh, this is our contingency plan. Doesn't work. We're going to be better next time. We're not. And the only reason we weren't overly affected by the other ones, again, is based on the fact that nothing has spread this fast.
Mhm.
You know? And I just don't think, I think we're going to learn a little bit, but not enough. You know what I mean?
So what I'm saying is, like, are you saying that we are just because? Are you just saying because this one's spreading so fast, or are you saying because culturally, or is it more of a? Is it like the way we're structured from a politically or whatever? What's going on? We're not willing to adapt and change. What is it?
A little
Like,
bit.
you're just saying because I mean the next disease could be worse than this, right? Who knows?
Yeah, it's possibility.
Possibly. Yeah.
But I'm saying that the way that our country is built, essentially, is that, you know, it's not really a democracy anymore. It's never been a democracy because it's a republic. We vote people up, and those people vote for us,
Correct.
right? They represent us.
Correct.
It's a republic. Now, when we vote for those people, they have their own agendas. And when they vote on their person, that person has their agendas, right? And just because you say one thing doesn't mean it's going to happen. And even if it does happen, it's only going to happen until the next 4 years, right? And we don't know when the next disease is going to... I mean, look at what happened with... as soon as Trump came up, he basically tore down what Obama did.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And who's to say the next guy that comes in isn't going to tear down what Trump did, especially if they're in a different political party, you know, because then they have to appease who voted for him, and those people that voted for him have to appease who voted for them. You know, it's just going to be a chain reaction where we feel like we have the power, but we don't. And it's based around us having to make our changes, right? Like us learning so that they
You're
can
talking
learn.
about the people.
Yeah. And that's the way it should be, right? Like we the people,
Yeah.
right? This country is all about freedom and liberty and whatever and all that bullshit.
But you're saying the way the system is set up,
The way the system is set up,
it'll
it'll never occur that way until we make the full change.
is the full change getting rid of it a republic? Is that what you're saying?
No, the full change is us understanding that, yes, the government can take care of us, but it starts with us taking care of ourselves first. And no one's really going to preach that.
But the point of so the government isn't taking care of us, right? That's the thing. It's like there's certain things that you're saying we as a people need to change,
Yeah.
and vote for certain aspects of our life to be provided for us by the government.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that we're basically empowering the government to take care of us for this particular thing, but not say, hey, take away my guns, or not say, hey, you can't build this building here, or what have you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of?
A little bit, kind of.
Well, I guess basically you're saying is like you want the government, you want people to be empowered to say, I want to vote for a government that votes for free healthcare, or that provides free healthcare for us.
Not just that. I'm also saying that us in this room, we're able to basically influence what happens in our own world, right? Our own little Charlotte, North Carolina, or whatever area, right? Which then will influence other places, right? But if we can make the changes that we need to make ourselves better here, then it'll help everyone else, because then they can learn from that platform, right? But if we just look at the federal government and just say that they're the ones watching over us or whatever, even if they're not giving us what we need,
you're trying to start at a micro level.
Yeah, because that's the way the country works, right? Everything happens at the micro level, but we believe that it happens at the federal level, right? Because like the federal government can say, this is like the minimum wage, this is like the healthcare fees or whatever, this is how much you should tax them, and then each state gets to decide on its own, and then each city gets to decide on its own. Each county gets to decide on its own, right? And then it becomes this situation where, like, again, if we go back to Korea right here, it's a good example, because the government is controlled by the people, but it's a republic, right?
In South Korea. Yeah,
not North Korea. Definitely not North Korea.
Yeah.
But it's a republic. They vote people up there, and then those people represent the people well to vote for the next person, like the prime minister or whatever. But not only is the government looking after everyone because people want it that way, the people are looking after themselves so they can look after the government. That's what I'm saying.
So the people are watching over the government.
Yeah, it's a top-down, bottom-up situation.
But we're theoretically we're set up to be that way.
Theoretically, yes. And the way we're working is just top-down. The way we're working is just whoever's at top controls it. Whereas we should be bottom-up and top-down. We should be both. It should be a symbiotic relationship.
Sure.
Because, like, if we want to stop the next pandemic, if we want to stop the spread of the next
What's
big
interesting
disease,
is, though, our government says that we're not big government.
I mean, see,
it's big government any way you dice it.
But again, like if we want to be prepared for the next one, the people have to prepare just as much as the government does.
Right.
Like we all have to be ready on deck.
Yeah.
Got the Lysol wipes, hand sanitizer. Be knowledgeable about washing your hands all the time before and after we do everything. Be knowledgeable of the fact that how diseases
Who's
can
your
spread.
jiu-jitsu training partners?
Exactly. Do they have ringworm? Are they cutting their nails?
Man, you sick? Don't come here.
Yeah, don't come here.
Like that, and that's the little things. Those are the little things that can help us. Like, even just like, again, in jiu-jitsu place, if someone has ringworm, what are you gonna do?
Fuck that motherfucker.
Exactly. You're
like,
gonna quarantine
sorry,
them, right?
You're not welcome here.
Yeah.
You're gonna quarantine them. You're not gonna let them roll.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Right? And if we, in this situation, like, what if we do let them roll? Oh, we just take care of ourselves. Right? Take care of ourselves, we won't have to worry. But then we're not taking care of the gym, which is essentially our, quote unquote government.
Right.
Right? It's a bottom up, top down situation. The gym is allowing us to train, and it's allowing us this space, and the gym owner, who whoever it is that we follow.
I see that analogy. I can understand.
You get what I'm saying?
I can appreciate that analogy. I do. I think that what the problem is that we're obviously we're all these communities, right?
Yeah.
That are in different parts of the country. You have different ways of life and different ways of thinking, and
country's just too big.
It's fucking huge, man. Like you're not gonna tell the person in rural,
Findlay, Ohio,
Kansas, or Findlay, Ohio, or Kansas, or whatever it is, like that, how they want to run their community is gonna be,
Yeah, and it's not the same either.
This is
It's
New York
just,
City.
it's so different. in my mind.
It's a challenging thing.
Yeah,
right?
if I could recreate the U.S., I would divide it up into like 4 or 5 different
city-states.
Different countries.
Zones, almost like the Hunger Games, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah, districts.
Yeah.
You know, let
I wanna
Hawaii
be the
be
one
its
that
own
parks.
place.
You-
It'd be what?
Parties.
He's like, I want the zone with Florida.
Actually, I don't want the zone in Florida. I don't want that one.
But no,
I
yeah,
want the one with California.
There you go.
that's what I mean, though. You know, it's just like kind of, I just don't think we're gonna be ready.
Listen, I think that we can be ready if we have. Like,
There's got to be a lot of major changes.
The next, whether it's Trump in the next 4 years or somebody else in the next 4 years says, okay, great. There are some things on the federal level that we need to get right, like investing in the fucking CDC, investing on a pandemic team that's the best pandemic team in the fucking world, and we have these backup plans, these disaster recovery plans that when this shit happens, we know what we're going to do. When we're going to work with private enterprise and private industry and saying, hey, when this happens, you in this part of the country are going to do this, this, and this for us, Mr. Ford Motor Company. You in this part of the world and in Silicon Valley, you're instead of making, computer chips, you're going to be making this, this, and this, and this, and we're going to pay you for that, right?
Yep.
And all that is going to still fund the economy, right?
Yep.
And all that's still going to be great, but that's just an example, right?
Yes.
CDC or whatever, we're doing something when something like this happens, but again, it's whether whoever's in charge in the next 4 years chooses to do that or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I can follow that. I can
I get your point of like, these communities, like there's just some things on the macro level that you just gotta kind of got to get right. You don't have to worry about
do your part.
Yeah. Like what somebody in Hawaii is doing, what somebody in Kansas is doing, and what somebody in Charlotte's doing.
Yeah, I get that. What do you think, Edgar?
I agree.
That's it. He's having withdrawals.
I can't.
He's his bourbon.
Yeah.
Edgar, Switzerland.
I'm not as deep as you guys at the moment.
We're deep state, bro.
I tread water. You guys hold your breath and go all the way down.
I mean, you got to, man. You got to sometimes. You got to dive.
Sometimes you got to put your head underwater sometimes. just to see what's keeping you floating.
I've scuba dived before.
On a lighter tone, why don't you play video games?
Why don't I? I don't have a system.
Why don't you get a Switch?
Get a PS4.
No, dude, Switch all the way.
So, growing up, I was always jealous of my friends who did have Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Dreamcast, and I would always go to their house and play with them. But we were never in a financial ability to purchase my own gaming system. So I always played at my friends. And then once I got to high school, I played sports and I didn't play video games. And then once I got to college, I was in college and I worked, so I didn't have time to play I didn't make time to play video games, and I didn't have the financial ability to purchase my own gaming system. And now as an adult, I do have the ability to, but I don't have the drive to want to do it on my own.
Not something
You have the
you
drive
want
Right,
to do.
but like
You don't have the drive to do it?
to do it on, like, to want to do it on my own. Like when I was 6 years old and I was like, I can't live without Nintendo. Like I don't have that, which not everybody has that, but you don't need to have that.
But get over that.
I don't have that. But I will say it. This is the other caveat is if I'm at someone's house and
You'll
I
play.
sit down and they're like, yo, take this controller. We're about to play, whatever, NBA 2K or NFL Blitz or whatever. I'm like, I'm in. And I can spend 3 hours playing the video game. But I just haven't in my adult life pulled the trigger on
Do you play video
buying a
games on your
gaming
phone?
system. One. And I just started like 2 months ago. And it's Madden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
And
didn't know
it's
they had it on their phone.
free.
No.
I would recommend getting a Switch though.
A Switch?
Yeah, Nintendo Switch.
Is it
But
cool?
hold on, wait. So
Oh, it's great.
speaking of that,
Yeah.
I just saw this commercial the other day. It was about the Nintendo Switch, and it was like a family, and it was male and female, and they had 2 boys, and like the boys were like playing Mario, and they were like, it would be so cool if we like made this for Dad, a level for him, and I was like, what is this for real? So like the mom helped them create a whole nother like level sort of Mario because the dad was like, oh, I used to love Mario, Super Mario's 3 or whatever. And then like the dad gets on the Switch and he's like, oh my God, this is like my childhood. Like you guys made this for me. I was like, that would never I don't see that ever happening.
Can they actually make that shit though?
Yeah, like they add like almost like SimCity. Like you're adding buildings, you're adding whatever. So you're adding more, of the.
It's like Minecraft.
Yeah, you're like you're making the level harder, and they're giving you accessories that you can do to make the level harder. But like, to me, the nostalgia is playing Super Mario's 3.
Yeah.
Super Mario 1, 2, like
Which you can still do, can't you?
right,
Somehow.
the nostalgia is not from like you making a harder level.
There's a
from-
classics.
I
There's
just
a classics edition.
Yeah.
the commercial did not really.
And
I don't have kids, but
you
it really
describing
didn't
the commercial.
resonate.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that commercial wouldn't have worked on me. I'd be like, yeah, I was like, nah.
I was like,
Give me the game where you can slice people up. I want
and then
that
Dad was
one.
like, "You guys made this for me."
yeah,
And I was
He
like, "Come on,
nah,
dude,
nah,
come
for real.
on." Dude. Like,
See, I play video games now because I see the value in it.
go a little further.
Yeah,
than-
I'm about to
Okay.
Right now, we're all about to. All ESPN's going to put on is esports. It's like, that's the fucking value, dog.
Here's the value of it.
Yeah.
So when you play a game like that, right, you get a better understanding of the game,
Okay.
of not just like the video game, but like of like NFL or whatever, right?
Mhm.
You get some strategy and like some like play mentality and like player statistics, right? I'm assuming they have player statistics. I play a game like StarCraft. I do play StarCraft. Not because, I mean, I do like it, but also because it challenges my ability to think on the fly and also to take little bits of information and then do what I can with it, right? So I'm taking it more of in like it's like mental training, it's like mental jiu-jitsu for me. Because like if I go to jiu-jitsu and it's like a physical workout, right? Yeah. And then like, I'm thinking of strategies, right? I'm thinking of things to do, like, oh, if he's doing this, I can counter with that, or like if he's doing that, I can counter with this kind of shit, right? It's a good way to train, right? But I also believe it's better if you bring in other aspects of it. Like if you want to get better in conditioning, if you want to get stronger for jiu-jitsu, you hit the gym.
Right.
You go for a run,
Right,
you run a marathon, right? You train in other sports to bring it in.
You compartmentalize your improvement.
Exactly. And then when you look at the mental aspect of jiu-jitsu, what can you really do physically that'll help build you in terms of your reaction time and your game planning? Not a lot. StarCraft.
Yeah.
Legit. Like these guys, I mean, they're thinking like literally 10 steps ahead. It's pretty much like chess, but way faster pace, Which jiu-jitsu, everyone says is human chess. I don't think it's human chess.
So I do that to a certain extent. So I play flag football in another neighborhood every Sunday morning. And I also have been playing the Madden game for the past 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So like when I'm enthralled in the game, I'll play a whole season in a matter of like an hour.
Yeah.
And win the Super Bowl. Just saying. But then the strategy of those plays and the route running and everything, I then apply that on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a mental exercise for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the slashers, a med can work on his killing skills.
Yeah.
I think
How many samurai swords do you have, though?
No, I don't know.
Well, he learns about the Yakuza. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
he's trying to do.
That'll be the next thing. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, I can definitely see that. I'm like my games, the games I'm playing are more hack and slash them, so I think there's less strategy and much more reaction involved. Like
Yeah,
quicker.
so you're training your reaction ability, right? So I play Hollow Knight.
Price-wise, the Switch is cheaper than the PS4, right? Or not?
It's $300 for Switch.
And PS4 is what? $400?
$300.
Oh, so they're the same.
But the PS5 is coming out.
Yeah.
Soon.
So the thing about the Switch I like
Maybe
a lot
after Corona.
is it's the most unique because it's the only
'Cause you
one
play
with
it
its
in
own
hand as
screen.
well
Yeah.
as on the two.
Definitely the lowest graphics quality.
Okay.
But
It's lower than PS4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that.
it's
I've
pretty
never
low.
seen the Switch.
So essentially, the PS4 or any of the PlayStations and the Xbox, they're essentially just cheaper gaming computers.
Yeah.
It's really what
And
it
it takes up less space than a PS4.
Yeah, it's
It's
portable.
mobile, too.
You can take it wherever. You can do whatever you want with it. You can play it right here. You can play it over by TV. You can play up to 8 people.
It's up on my smart TV. I just put the app and it just pulls up.
Yo, shit.
Corona time.
But yeah, that's the reasons I like the Switch. There's also a little bit more.
The Switch
Customization.
are downloaded games versus your not downloaded games?
No, they can download.
I
them.
can download games too.
Oh, okay.
It's the same.
Now streaming games is the...
No, it's the same. You can download games or you can buy them. It doesn't matter which.
Oh, okay.
Some people like to buy them just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And certain games you do have to buy regardless.
Yeah.
But
God of War.
Yeah.
You got to buy that.
Gotta buy it.
But there's more customization with the Switch. You can pick the color. You can put different chassis on it. You know, it's nice.
It's like the Honda Civic of like
Of gaming.
gaming.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not the best,
So is
but
PS4 like an
Man,
Accord? What's
shit. You get something on like Fast and the Furious, you're taking that shit like the Civics on the Fast and the Furious were out of the world.
those little souped up bitches.
Yeah.
Got the Asian guy with the spiked hair.
Who, by the way, which one did he die in?
Who? Paul Walker?
The Asian guy.
Oh, Han. He
He died in one of
the third one or something.
Did
The
he
one in
really?
Japan.
No, he didn't die in Tokyo Drift, did he?
Yeah, he did.
No, I think
Yeah.
he made it.
No, he died in Tokyo Drift.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah. He's coming back though. Everyone's coming back.
Yeah.
2020 is the year of comebacks. Not really.
How many of there are there? There are
It's
nine.
the year of
There's-
downfall.
9. They're gonna have 9.
There's the Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
It's on HBO now. I haven't watched it yet, but I plan on doing it when I really don't want to think anymore.
Shit.
So everybody's estimate on how before, like, not it's not gonna be over, but when
When it calms down.
yeah,
I think it'll calm down. You're asking us?
yeah, like
August.
give me a month wise. Like
go
we're
first.
talking, I'm thinking 4 months from today's date.
Today. So
Right.
what's
April,
today?
May, June, July.
We're
You're
in-
saying July?
yeah, July.
So when you're saying when we're no longer in isolation, social distancing,
correct.
and like things are closed, like start
Things are back
closing at
open?
5, and they're like
Restaurants are now like opening back up, but limited times. Like there's grocery stores aren't as like scarce or whatever.
I think
So yeah, I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking August.
I think like so honestly, I think that we're gonna go
Into
we're,
Christmas with
we're
it?
gonna we're gonna ebb and flow up until August. So like after April 9th, like maybe around April 19th or so,
Mhm.
they're gonna see like where we're at, and I think we're gonna slow this thing down considerably.
That's pretty specific. April 19th. That's pretty
Yeah,
specific.
because that's what the lockdown dates were for California.
Oh, okay.
So which were hit majorly. So
Yeah.
like I think and they have a legit lockdown.
Yeah.
So I think that you'll see like significant drop off in certain states where they're locking down, and then they'll like ease people back into life, just like they're doing in Korea or in China, and even Korea now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll probably peak a little bit more again, or like increase a little bit more, and they'll lock us down again until probably like August. So like
Do you agree?
I think it's gonna go up and down.
Between April and August.
Even the like the way we live our lives,
Mhm.
like I think we're gonna do this right now for the next month, and I think we'll probably ease up and we'll let restaurants open up again,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll probably like it'll be then they'll lock them down after 2 weeks or a month or something like that.
What's your thoughts?
All right. I was
Until August.
initially thinking it would plateau around maybe like May in terms of like cases,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of like streamline all until August is when things start clearing up. But the ebb and flow thing seems to make more sense
Yeah.
because after the lockdown, I feel like a lot of people are just going to go out, and then all of a sudden it's going to bump back up.
Yeah, they're not gonna they're like fuck it, we're out. Like
Do you think Charlotte's gonna have a lockdown?
Yeah. I think
Eventually.
every state will
At some
have it.
point.
I don't think of it as like a really bad thing. I think like
Yeah.
you're going to see like it's really similar to what we're doing now, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see, but they're just going to do essential businesses. So it's like pharmacies, supermarkets, banks, and then
Liquor stores.
no,
But that is.
it's not essential.
I know it's a joke, but I mean, that has been like even the lockdown cities have liquor stores still open. I don't know how that's deemed as essential.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
So if they are great, okay.
Yeah.
I what I saying like okay, so you have those essential businesses,
Yeah.
and then everything else is closed, right? Everything, right? And you can be out and about like the ladies, his girlfriend's grandmother,
Yeah.
taking a walk or what have you. But even my friend who's in California, he's in parks during the day, but they're at night. He's with his family at home.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. They're not going anywhere unless it's the grocery store every once in a while.
Yeah.
See, the thing that doesn't make sense to me is that at 12 o'clock they can't go anywhere, right? Or something like that.
12, the middle,
There's like a
middle
curfew.
of the day.
There's like a
Like
curfew.
5. I think it's
Yeah,
5. I
it's
thought
a
it was
curfew.
5.
Well, whatever time it is, it's weird because it doesn't matter what time of day it is. The virus is still gonna be around,
Yeah, but if you're limiting the amount of people that are out and about.
Yeah, but then before 5, what's happening? People are out.
Yeah, but you'd also assume that from that 9 to 5 that people are also working, the remote workers, and so they're not out and about.
Yeah, that's true. But it just seemed weird to me.
I think the premise behind it is, let's say if you have 10 people out and about, one of them has the virus, those 10 people could get the potential of them getting the virus is high.
Correct.
Versus if you only have 5 people out and one person has the virus, that's 5 people infected versus the 10.
Correct.
Because 5 of them are working, so they're going to be at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I think we're probably gonna. Honestly, Max. Honestly, bro.
Look them in the eye when you tell them this.
Listen, we're probably gonna have to do another one of these COVID-19 podcasts.
It'll be COVID-20 by that time.
Yeah, COVID-20 by that time.
You'll be like,
It's like, wow, you've bumped up to ultra heavy,
Yeah.
I see.
it's just not your hair either.
My hair has been growing, man.
It is.
It's getting annoying. I don't know how people do it.
Neither do I. I can't, like, if it touches my ear, I'll shave it myself.
Shit.
I thought that was going to be
real.
the biggest issue, but the biggest issue is that it's uncontrollable. I have like really wavy, thick hair.
Yeah, like
it just gets,
random cowlicks. Just,
yeah,
what?
like I get an afro. That's why I have a comb. You know,
Literally
gotta pat that
before the
down.
podcast, he was over here, Rico swabbing it up, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Got to get it ready for those headphones.
Yeah, I've been wearing a lot more hats lately, hats and watch caps.
Yeah,
but what time is it? Oh
45.
shit!
I gotta get this guy out.
Yeah. All right, we'll close it up. Anyone got last words?
Be safe. Be safe. Be smart. And have fun.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
wash your ass.
Edgar.
Wash your ass. Get a bidet.
The bidet business is booming.
Booming.
All right. That's it for the day, guys. Probably gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen next week. We'll probably be dead next week. But thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing day. Get out there, get hungry, and good luck.